Hello and welcome to Follow Everton. This is a huge six-pointer today. For all those joining, thank you. It's going to be a live talk along, watch along. I know for a lot of you in the UK, watching this safely and legally is difficult. So very happy to be a voice for anyone that wants to go along in these matches. I'm starting a little bit early because why not? In terms of what we're looking at today for the lineups, I will go over that quickly. So what I've heard from when I'm listening to other fan channels, the goalkeeper for Burnley, they have switched since we played them last. They are going with an older, more experienced goalkeeper in Muric. I think from what it sounds like, he's a little, and from what I was watching on the replay against Wolves, he looks a lot more confident aerially than the keeper they had earlier on in the season. So that could be something to look at. And Emma, I am certainly nervous. I am trying to be as enthusiastic and positive within reason as we can here, because in reality, although it's nervous, I think we have every, we don't have a right to think so, but we should have every opportunity and possibility to win today, for me. And yes, we don't have, I know Robbie and Wes may have gone over that, but the exact details to why Idrissa Gana Gueye and Amadou Onana are not in the lineup today, I'm not 100% sure. But knowing the difficulties when it comes to with Ramadan and time of the day and things of that nature, maybe there's something in that. But when we can also take some positives, maybe that at least in the middle, Andre Gomez and James Garner, when they came on, were really effective in that position. The only difference, though, is we had James Garner and Gomez on, while we also had Gana Gueye on the pitch, if I recall correctly. So with that being the case, how do we, and for those that haven't watched my tactic review back, it seems that Gana Gueye was quite instrumental in some of the turnovers. So does James Garner play a similar role, knowing that although I haven't watched as much of them, even yesterday, they still like to play it more from the back instead of doing long balls. So it's all about trapping them from their playing out from the back. But Cullen and Berger are relatively strong for them recently. If we're talking score predictions, for me, honestly, I think I'd like to think we win, but I have that niggling feeling that Emma has that we'll somehow find a way to not get all 3 points today, but I can't see it being a loss either. I could see it being 1-1, 2-1, but I can't imagine. So, but I don't want to touch the proverbial wood about the worst case scenario for today. So we'll start positive. For Eugene, welcome back, and Paul, I think he put this up a lot earlier, but we can keep the faith, but I think more importantly, we need to stay positive and not kind of go into a depression spiral too early. Burnley have not been a great goal scoring side this year, so I highly doubt we'll get heavily behind, and they do leak goals as well. So I will bring up this one quickly and see if I can hide my face out of the way just enough to show the top scorers. So let's see, how do I best get my face out of the way on this? That'll do. I'll just get out of the way of Sander Berger and Jay Rodriguez at the bottom. But generally speaking, the top goal scorers for us and Burnley are really not up there in goal scoring. So we have Jacob Brun-Larsen, Lyle Foster, Zeki Amdouni, and David Datro Fofana are all on 4 goals. And Calvert-Lewin has 4 goals for us. Doucouré hasn't scored in a while, but he has 6. Harrison, who has been way out of form, who's benched again, is on 3. Beto on 3. So not saying we are better than them at goal scoring. From the distribution here, could say we're not, but it's also they are not prolific in front of goal either. Is really what I wanted to show there. Yeah, and for everyone else that wants to give their score predictions, feel free to do so. The challenge, Josh, is kind of relating maybe with what Martin's saying of what does Patterson need to do to get a game, but I'm not sure he did excellent over the weekend, midweek, but there is something about mentality and big game players, even if he's a bit older. And if you look at the average age of Everton, the right midfield and right back position jack up that age drastically. But Ashley Young has some form of you'd almost call it like cutthroat, critical willingness to get down and dirty, get a result. That we need that kind of mentality in a game like this. And the way Patterson's been either treated, his interaction with the squad, his relationship with Dyche, and his general confidence levels, although it may work out, I think there would be a huge risk right now based on how Patterson's doing to say that he should be brought in. So we're still a few minutes from kickoff. I'm watching off my iPad on Peacock. So if I look down, it's just below the screen here. Burnley are in the tunnel, getting prepped and ready in their alternate yellow kit with the kind of burgundy and black stripe on their left side, right by their badge. And good afternoon, Richo. Okay, so it sounds like potentially there's family-related reasons, and if that's the case, unfortunate on the timing, but congratulations to them and the family. So, how we all feeling, Blues? Hopefully, I'm not the most optimistic of everybody because I feel like we have every opportunity to win today. I don't imagine it's going to be an incredibly high-scoring match. I think it might if we get an early goal, it may settle us down, but this could be very much like that Bournemouth 1-0 match last year, where it was really pensive for a while until momentum came up. And I think the most important thing on these matches is the reality that we don't want to lose points against our opposition. So if we avoid a 6-pointer by us not giving away goals, I think that's the way to go. So I'll try and talk through this while multitasking. I am going to also get a banner going up for all the matches that have gone through. Man City played earlier today. So they Man City won in the end 4-2. And we have quite a few other matches going on live at the same time today. So we have Villa and Brentford, which will be certainly interesting the way they've been playing. So let me add there. We are, at least where I'm at here, they have just entered gone onto the pitch. I imagine Zed Cars is playing, but I'm tuned into my headset here, so I'm not listening to any audio. So if there is any other people that have a different source of audio that they wanted to add in for feedback on how the match is going, please feel free. So Aston Villa. Is going to be playing. We have Brentford. We also have, let's see, who else we got? So we have Everton, Burnley, of course. Who else we got playing at this kickoff time? We have Fulham at home to Newcastle, which should be an interesting one. As we know, Fulham have been having some surprise results, especially at home. So that one could be pretty interesting. A big match that's relevant for us is also at home for Luton against Bournemouth. So we'll be keeping an eye on there. And we also have Wolves hosting West Ham at the Molineux, or at Molineux. I forget if it has a "the" in front of it. And later on, we'll have Brighton and Arsenal as well. So should be coming up here. So this is the ticker I have set up. I think that's all the players. So it'll be interesting seeing how we go today. I don't have as much tactical and experience watching Burnley play, but typically playing out from the back. They have tried to make adjustments, and you could say maybe maturity of their squad by some of the younger players that were coming up. They were investing in youth rather than experience, and they've been emphasizing more of the experienced players now. Yeah. Certainly Luton could win. What they have been seeming to do recently is not score as many goals, so that's maybe a positive for us. So we're getting relatively close to the start of the match now over here. Should be about a minute to two of kickoff. As is usual here, there's a bit of a time delay between the various coverages. So if you are able to watch it around the world, you may be a minute ahead, 30 seconds behind, 2 minutes ahead, 3 minutes behind. It really depends on your source of streaming or provider. So they're also right now doing a moment's silence for Jimmy Husband. He passed away a little while ago, but I think they may be doing a more formalized standing ovation and clap for his contribution to Everton. So we're seeing that now where they're doing honorary for him. No black armbands though, but I think, and if you watched any of the content from Toffee TV and some others, they seemed a little bit disappointed in how they covered it originally pre-match. So I think maybe this is a revision of how to give honor to someone that was significant to the club in the past. I, being a early 30s Australian fan of Everton that got involved in 2007, 2008 and onwards, I wasn't as familiar with his contributions. So the match is about to kick off. I will expand my camera to show Tim Cahill's legacy, my Life Beatles magazine and everything else in the background, and I'll talk you through as we go. But yes, I just be aware that there will be various scores probably being coming through in the post here, and I will be giving updates based on my stream here on Peacock, which we're about to get kicked off, I believe. And Everton will be kicking from right to left. Burnley are starting with the ball on the kickoff, going from left to right. Okay, they took a knee and the match is kicked off. So pass back to the keeper, and they brought most of their squad forward. But again, lots of kind of, I guess, header ping pong tennis throughout the middle here. But Burnley are winning the ball back on their side. They are definitely testing on long balls more than I was expecting, but they're really quite poor. They go straight to Pickford, and then we hoop it back up. So at the moment, I think probably just trying to get settled into the match, but no one's making a decent pass at all. Lots of shielding, kicking it up, but DCL trying to win the ball back, and I think it was called for offside. So I'm here at 42 seconds so far. Dice trying to yell from the touchline. I'm not sure it's going to be too effective right now. They've passed it back to their keeper, and back to the left-hand side, and one back by Everton, and a touch back to Pickford. A little bit questionable, and now it's turned. There's a cross pass into the middle and turned over. Everton now with the ball over to Branthwaite. He's doing a little diagonal pass to Mikalenko, who's going down to the left wing, and so he stopped right there to try and settle himself for the cross instead of going first time, but he was chased back by, I think it was Fofana, and instead of going forward, we're doing a back play thrown from Mikalenko to McNeil to Branthwaite, and now Pickford has the ball just by the kickoff D and is going long to Calvert-Lewin, headed to the middle. Doucouré challenging. Doucouré's on the ball, passes it wide to Coleman, crosses it to the back post, and collected by Muric. So I'm at 1 minute 54. Not an overtly exciting match so far. I think both teams probably not wanting to make a mistake at the back and going long right now. So this could be one of these kind of everyone's afraid to make mistakes matches for a little while until it opens up. But speaking of which, they did play it up from the back. They passed a centre back to their right back, and McNeil chasing. which was pretty effective. So they went to the right back, and then they realized they were not progressing, so they're going back to their keeper. So if we keep that pressure up, we might have an opportunity here. Their goalkeeper just went long, and Mikolenko intercepted, but knocked it out of play. So a big piece here is how well are we holding onto the ball. We get turnovers. Let's have clean possession. We just want it back again through Doucouré to McNeil, who's a little bit slow to release. He had Gomez coming forward, but took an extra touch. But we want to throw in anyway. But a lot of the time right now, we're afraid to go forward. We're just every throw in is back to the fullback and either going to Pickford or Branthwaite, and then Tataki or Branthwaite, and then back to Pickford for another long ball. So it's in Burnley's half where Gomez is chasing and caused a little turnover there, which is great. But again, we're very comfortable bringing it back to the center halves. Tarkovsky has the ball now, passes it out to Coleman, who's doing a cross towards Doucouré, unsuccessful, but we won the second ball back. Looks like a throw in for Everton here on the attacking side on the right wing here at 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Coleman uses Gomez, tucks into Garner, who tries to flick to Doucouré but didn't look up and caused a turnover. Burnley coming through the middle. Branthwaite has slowed it down by the halfway line, but Burnley are coming here on a counter-attack and on a diagonal ball to their right side, but it appears overhit, so it's not just us that struggle, and Lyle Foster gives a thumbs up to say good idea, but overhit. So it'll be a matchup to pay attention to with Mikolenko and Foster. Last week, or midweek, Mikolenko was doing a lot more forward runs, but was exposed every time there was a turnover. So if we aren't turning over the ball as much, Mikolenko can progress forward. And Lyle Foster is just waiting for those opportunities. Another long ball by Everton, but just a chase ball for Doucouré, not much he can do. But Burnley are giving the ball away a lot with any pressure from us. Doucouré, by his pressure on, looks like Berger, gave the ball to McNeil, and McNeil got us a throw in. Andre Gomez is shielding the ball there, back to McNeil. Branthwaite has the ball in our half, looking for passing options. Afternoon, Wormy. So we've switched the ball to the right side. Tarkovsky doing a diagonal ball to the back post, well over hit, and McNeil's going to let that ball go out. No, he is taking it on. He's got Gomez inside, but chooses to avoid him. Now he's using Gomez, and we'll probably start the play back again. So he's holding the ball and deciding on where to pass and showing that composure. But even still, the option was back to Pickford for another diagonal going to the right wing now. I think Coleman's in that advanced position. This is promising right here. Oh, so still in play. Ashley Young goes for the cross, and it's blocked. Everton for the corner. Coleman, although he doesn't have the age on his side anymore, he knows where to position himself, and he had a really good progressive run that was picked out by Pickford. And then there was a kind of a loose ball that Ashley Young got, and then it was blocked for a corner kick. So I'm at 6 minutes 5. It's going to be on Everton's right side, so it'll be an in-swinger from Dwight McNeil. Ashley Young kind of by the keeper doing some argy-bargy. Yeah, well, I guess we can't get too much older, can we? So lots of hands pushing, hands up in the air, saying I'm not touching him, kind of from the Burnley players. And I guess the referee for today is telling Muric to calm it all down and to be sensible. And we'll see if that actually makes any impact. I can't imagine Tarkovsky and some of the others wouldn't be quite excited to stir things up and make Burnley uncomfortable in the box. We scored through an Amadou Onana header against them with McNeil's corner, so him being out potentially an impact. But if they go back post, which they do, that was not a half bad. It was slightly overhit, but it was right on the back post. McNeil has his hands up, saying, we're looking quite confused, saying, why didn't anyone go to that spot? Because it was right right in that position, but no one was there to receive it. If someone was at that spot in the back post, that could easily have gone in, but went up for a goal kick. So it's back to Muric, who's playing a long ball through the middle, an effective flick on, and then handled by Branthwaite, who double teamed to help out Mikulenko to take on Fofana. So Fofana's on the ball, flicks it through the middle, and Gomez on the turnover to TCL, and we win a free kick just by the halfway line. TCL was knocked over. Not a lot of contact, but pushed from the back, it appears. And so it looks like O'Shea was a little bit disappointed there that he got a foul against him, but looks like he got a bit of the man, bit of the ball. Yep. It's certainly been a lot of long ball stuff right now. I think there's probably a lot of nerves on this pitch right now and making mistakes, and hopefully it opens up. McNeil is providing some really good crosses even off that free kick, but Everton are not in the right position to receive those balls, and McNeil is looking quite annoyed and flustered. Yeah, anything's possible. Hopefully. So hopefully it's a 1-0 win to us. So it's another goal kick for Burnley, and they're chipping it out to the left back. Andre Gomez and McNeil are kind of on the edge of the press, which they have closed in. There's a 4v2, but they've left width out for their right fullback, number 20. And Gomez wins the ball back, so excellent press in there, but McNeil doesn't have a right foot, and it caused the turnover again. But there's a lot of turnovers for both sides right now, so a lot of energy, but the question is who holds onto the ball, who's got that touch of class, better ability to hold possession, make the pass. I think it's going to make this game right now. I'm at 9 minutes 25. Burnley have it on their attacking half through their left wing, but Everton have closed down that passing option, and they're going back to their centre back to start the play over again and back to their left side. Running past Doucouré through the middle, who's chasing, nicks his ankle, and he falls over quite cheaply. And there's a free kick right around the halfway line. Looks like Colin took the game on from the midfield there, and Doucouré made just enough contact with his back leg, which kind of went through the legs of Doucouré, so he fell over. So it's a free kick to Burnley here at 10 minutes and 5 seconds for me. So it looks like Colin may be taking this one. They're showing Fofana against Gomez, and lucky us, Burnley can't make a pass either, and that cross was drastically overhit by Colin, who apologizes and then starts pointing like any good player should do and tell others where to man mark instead of just owning his mistake. So it looks like quite a sunny day on Merseyside. Crowd, a few people smart enough to bring hats, the rest hands trying to cover their eyes. It looks like sun in the sun in the face of those on the Bullen side. So Pickford, another long ball from the goal kick, and one back by Burnley pretty comfortably. Taki chasing down and double teamed, and Coleman was there. Gomez winning the ball back. James Garner potentially fouled. Looks like he wins the free kick there. So a lot of these, and Charlie Taylor kind of shaking his head that wasn't a foul. And honestly, I agree that was not a foul at all, but it looked like a minor bit of contact. And for Martin, thank you. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, even when you're endorsing Jackson. Is that Jackson? Oh, sorry. I thought that was Jackson for Chelsea for a second, but Martin Jackson. Got it. So it looks like another offside. I'm not sure how Everton, with all the set plays and practice we do an offside immediately off the kick like that. But all the same, it's an opportunity here for Burnley to kick the ball back out or back into play. I'm at 12 minutes. So they're coming back from the left back side, progressing through the middle. One touch passing didn't work and shut down by Coleman. Doucouré chasing. Ashley Young chasing and back to their goalkeeper. So they're not really being able to work through us, which is certainly a positive, but we're not working through them either. So my fear of it feeling like that Bournemouth match at the end of last season seems to be coming to fruition so far. Yeah, well, I mean, it may also be. I'm thinking back to the beginning of Dyche's reign when we were scoring goals off corners. But we do have that tactic of going doing a crossfield play with Tarkovsky or someone else who's taller. You win the header, and then it goes back into the middle, and there's a scramble. But has it been working effectively recently? No. But it's that target man and crossing back into the middle of play and finding spaces. The tactic that if we do say Everton are good at set pieces, or that's their set piece, that's what they do. But today it's been pretty poor so far from how we. It looks like pretty good delivery from McNeil, but the Everton players are not anticipating the spots that McNeil is finding. So hopefully we'll see that change. So throw in on the right side. Coleman throws back to Taki. McNeil coming through the middle to Decore, who does a cutback. Mikalenko's chasing. So it was a poor cutback, but Mikalenko anticipated, but that was meant for DCL, and Decore apologizes. The idea was there, but not the execution from Dukes. A good little 1-2, and McNeil's in on the back post. And unfortunately turned over heel real quick. Branthwaite with an excellent sliding recovery, takes a strike, and out of play. It's another goal kick. And I think Wormy's point about set piece variability is certainly true. We got shown up by set piece variability against Newcastle with Isaac. They just didn't score it. Showing the win probabilities here according to Oracle Cloud. Everton still at 41%. A draw is 32% and 27 to Burnley. So kind of what you'd expect. Everton the most likely, but not really a real standalone prediction. Yeah. The Blues is not saying because he says what I'm saying that's a great commentary, but I'm seeing what you're seeing, that we're hitting these right spots, but we're just not converting or we're finding the right space, but then the players are not positioning themselves to get that space, because usually if it's crowded in those set pieces, you want to find that player that it has a moment of space, and McNeil found the space, just no player. Okay, so another progressive play down the left side, and it went off Berger for a corner kick. So we're seeing some really good progressive running by the touchlines, but we're not converting on the cutbacks here. But Andre Gomez is going to take this for an in-swinger off the right foot. 2 hands up, so go figure, probably going back post, but really poorly executed and doesn't beat the first man. Mikalenko trying to anticipate, but the ball goes over. Taki helps with the recovery, but Mikalenko now has it. A nice little cut to Decore, who's going in on his left, crossing on goal and picked by Muric. But DCL was right there. That's what we need to be seeing. It only took us 16 minutes to have get in that right area where it was right between the back four and the keeper, and Muric intercepted. But all you needed was one step closer for DCL, and that was in. So it's, at least from the stats, what they were saying is Everton are slightly more likely to win than they are to draw, or for Burnley to win. But it was generally pretty even Stevens between the 3 options. So I'm at 17 minutes 5. Burnley have the ball on the halfway line. O'Shea looking for passing options, goes to the right side. with Lyle Foster. Covered between McNeil and Mikalenko. And well tackled by McNeil, and we're away again. Doucouré is an option on the left. He uses him. Crosses first time, but covered and didn't get past the header. So are they calling offside again? Yeah, it looks like Doucouré was offside. Yep, and that was by about a foot. It's amazing how often Everton can't time their runs, because Doucouré was in a position where he saw the entire defensive line and couldn't time his run. Really not good enough from him. Okay, they're building up from the back again. So Burnley are still trying to do this, playing it from the back because the long balls aren't working. But Muric just shanked that way over the left-sided player's body and went out for a throw-in. So if Everton could just take advantage of all of the sloppy possession that Burnley are giving us, we can do something with it. But the reality is Everton are doing the exact same thing. They're just giving the ball away all over the place. Let me do a score check. Well, no work for me to do. All the matches are 0-0 according to SofaScore. And the early match went Manchester City's way after an early goal to put Palace ahead. Man City came back and won 4-2. Okay, yeah, the Blues, if you add up all the likelihood of us not drawing, winning versus not winning, yes. So Andre Gomez is looking quite comfortable on the ball, trying to build up from the back, but not really that successful. James Garner was moving to that left fullback position because Mikalenko and McNeil were further up the pitch. Tarky's now on the ball again, and another long ball. I suppose overhit or underhit, the way however you want to say, but we're winning the ball back anyway. McNeil has the ball. Mikalenko doing a nice darting run, not taken. McNeil goes for the shot, which is blocked. So it's back in Burnley's hands now at 19 minutes 45. They're now building out through Lyle Foster on the right side. Looks like I think maybe Odebear with the ball to the right side again with Lyle Foster on Branthwaite, who gets past him. Mikalenko blocks. Foster shoots, blocked again. The next strike was blocked by Coleman. They're right on the 18-yard box here. This is looking dangerous. Cross to the back post, and Mikalenko covers it. Pickford realizing he wanted that to go up for a throw-in. Oh, sorry, a goal kick, and a little bit annoyed at Mikalenko, but realizing it was the right move to knock it out just in case. So I think Lyle Foster is looking kind of dangerous. Anytime the players are running at Branthwaite, he seems to struggle a little bit more. And Mikalenko and Branthwaite together did just enough. That was a fairly good strike by Charlie Taylor on the replay. It went right at Coleman, who turned his body, so it hit his shoulder. So no opportunity right there. But it is a corner coming in on Burnley's right side. So it's going to be an outswinger from Cullen. One hand up, so it should be a short one. And doesn't beat the first man, which was McNeil. James Garner carries it. Oh, sorry, it was DCL. Won that header. McNeil's the highest up the pitch, chasing the keeper, causing a turnover. Tarky now passing the ball to Ashley Young on a counter-attack for Everton on the right side. Crosses, but doesn't beat the first man again. Doucouré knocks the ball to McNeil. McNeil being chased, passes it back to Young, and a horrible cross overhit by must be a matter of 5 meters or more. And he's kind of annoyed at himself for realizing that there was an opportunity there. We had DCL, we had Garner, Doucouré in the box on a 5v3, but there was some space between the players and just not executed again. I think he expected to win might just be the entitlement or the arrogance of the Everton fans to think we're good enough to win. But I get your point. I think I'm thinking it's going to be a draw today, honestly. But a lot of people are thinking 2-0 3-0, 2-1, and a lot of either is it hope at this point because we haven't had the consistent performance. And yeah, to Wormy's point there, we were a lot, even though the match was more open, I found it a lot more enjoyable and positives to take from this when we played Newcastle. But we are certainly coming up with some creative play here on through the wings. The problem is a lot of offsides, like we just saw right now, where it was gone to the right along the right wing, and it was hit first time from Ashley Young, but DCL didn't time his run. So we're having a lot of offsides, but we're trying to cut behind the Burnley line, but they're playing, I guess, a mid block rather than a low block or a high line. So they're trying. It's a little bit tricky to get a lot of space. So I think a lot of times the Everton players are trying to time their run, but it has not been working out so far. So I'm at 23 minutes and 18 seconds. Another pass intercepted by Branthwaite and passing over to Doucouré. An overlapping run by Gomez, but he doesn't have the leg speed to take on the centre half who knocks it out for a throw-in. So Gomez has the ball on our left wing for a throw-in. And he decides he doesn't want to do it or take the throw, so Mikalenko will. A short 1-2 with McNeil. Passes back to McNeil again. And his lack of a right foot caused a turnover. Lyle Foster is trying to come by on the right wing. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was Fofana, was it? I'm struggling with some of the numbers here. It was number 23, where he gets past Branthwaite, but then he kind of stumbles. So Everton back on the ball. Taki to Branthwaite, 24 minutes. Down to that left side to Mikalenko, who does it across to DCL, who wins the header. Ashley Young takes too long. He should have struck that first time, but didn't, and let the play close. And he also had Doucouré next to him, didn't make the decision either. So I can talk about big game play and that there's a competitive edge to Ashley Young, but he is looking like the weak link for Everton right now. Yeah, lack of technical ability is really painful. The intent is there, but we cannot execute a pass when we need to right now. Because Burnley are giving us the ball a lot. Every time they go long, they have almost 1-0 of their long balls. So it's justifying why Burnley are playing from the back. But even then, they're turning it over a whole lot. Looks like Odebear against Garner on that left side. There's a chip to the back post. Lyle Foster with Mikalenko battling it out. Mikalenko did well, blocked it, and then kicked it out by the corner flag, but ball is still in play. Foster coming back again. Blocked by McNeil. Doucouré knocking it forward, but looks like maybe a free kick. Nope, they called play on. Mikalenko back to the halfway line. Shielded by Doucouré, and then DCL bundled over. So a lot of positives from the left side generally. Again, still a little bit overhit or not releasing the ball fast enough. Coleman with Ashley Young, they have experience on the right. I haven't seen Coleman progress up enough compared to the left side. And Ashley Young is having quite a mare in terms of knowing when to hold the ball, when to release the ball. Every time he's in the right position, he's just not doing enough with it. And they're showing the Everton fans with covering themselves from the sun and not looking very impressed at all, anybody. But let's be honest, I wouldn't either. We're not looking that great so far. So another set piece to the back post, as Wormy would say, predicted. And guess what? It was very uneventful and a throw-in to Everton. Coleman has the ball for the throw-in. Gomez provided an option to pass back, but he didn't take it, and Gomez seemed annoyed. But I think Coleman's right. Let's progress the ball up forward instead. So Gomez provides another short option, and a 1-2. James Garner fell over too easy, and the ball is back in Burnley's hands, coming out from their right side, but shut down from McNeil. So they're going back between their centre backs, deciding what they're going to do. So we certainly are pressing. We're not winning the ball back on tackles as much. It's just forcing them to make passing errors. The question I have right now, though, is it truly we're forcing them to make passing errors, or is it like in tennis, just a whole lot of unforced errors? Because it seems that way. There was a cross that was awkwardly covered between Pickford and Tarky, and Everton back on the ball. Decore on Everton's right side, tackling, but nicked it just out of bounds. And it's a throw in for Burnley. So that was a little bit closer there for Burnley, but handled by Pickford just enough on that replay. I'm at 27 minutes and 38 seconds. Burnley are in possession. It is still a 0-0 game. No outstanding highlights or near goal chances. Just a lot of should be doing better. I suppose not surprising at the way this match is going, but a lot of lost possession between the teams. So not being able to sustain the ball for more than 3 to 4 passes. Burnley have 57% possession to Everton's 43. Even the likes of Branthwaite that we give credit for on passing seems to be getting flustered as well. So maybe the pressure of the expectation of the fans is getting to them. Maybe it's just something about the sun, the windiness. It's really hard to say. No free kick given to Ashley Young, who's irate by the halfway line for that one. Burnley back on the ball through O'Shea, who's going to the left fullback, back to your other centre half here, and they're trying to build up. But Everton are certainly been quite effective with pressing for them. They're keeping that 4-4-2 position out of possession. Coleman has the ball here back to Pickford, and looks like, another long run to the right wing and drastically overhit and goes out of bounds. So, Wormy, you're describing what is probably sounding very monotonous on how this game is going. A lot of either we go forward and we're not making the pass, or we're doing these long balls that aren't working. So then how do we have a bit more variety rather than Pickford doing a long ball or the passes through the middle? I think we have seen some overlapping runs from McNeil and Mikalenko. We're not holding the ball well enough through the middle, through Decore right now, and that's probably why they're not using him as an option. But Gomez is looking relatively solid. He just doesn't have the leg speed to break through the lines, even though he is making the efforts. So Eugene's saying there might be a penalty for Wolves coming up. Well, when scores come through officially, we'll provide you the update there. Lyle Foster's taking on Mikalenko, who looks like he might have a shot on goal, covered by Branthwaite and did just enough. Tarky's clearance went right into James Garner. Oh no, Mikalenko's went just into Garner, but we did just enough. Some awkward hand-in-mouth moments on our clearances. And looks like DCL fouled one of their players on the ground. So it's a bit tricky sometimes for me to get the names of these players for Burnley just because it's on a small iPad. I'm not as familiar with names and numbers. But we're at 30 minutes and 30 seconds here. The free kick against Everton, meaning Burnley have the ball here, right on that kickoff circle. So curious for those that, other than just listening to what I have to say, it looks like, there was a fourth official mic issue, so they had to slow down the game for a second. But Burnley have the ball. Berger back through the middle for them. I think it was to Cullen. Now on their left side, Coleman faced up, and they have to turn it over again. Yep, looks like Wolves did score in the end. It popped up on my SofaScore app just as you said it, Eugene. Okay. Yeah, so goal on 33 minutes to Wolverhampton. All the other matches are still 0-0. It was a penalty scored by Pablo Sarabia. So Esteviv, their other centre half, did a darting run, and Tarky wiped him out just outside the 18-yard box. So a clever and clinical takedown without making it a penalty this time. unlike what he did against Garnacho. The problem is that gives Burnley a free kick in a dangerous position. The question is, what will Burnley do with it? Because they haven't looked exceedingly good either on these set plays so far. The question is, who's going to take it? They're showing Taylor, Estevez, Fofana, all in. It looks like maybe Brun Larsson's going to take this one. One hand up and takes on the strike himself, and a little bit overhit. It looks like he saw an opening on the back post, but was not able to take it. It's hard to tell from here, but potentially there's a little bit of wind making this a bit tricky too. But that strike from Brun Larsson was a little bit too close for comfort for me. I was updating the ticker and missed that one, but it seems Taki just got pinged for a yellow card. It may have been from a poor ball from Pickford that led to Everton being out of position. And you have Alderberg who had passed Coleman, and Taki had to do another takedown, and it was a pretty obvious professional foul to do. But that's been two in the same spot by Taki in the last minute or so. So this left side with Alderberg taking on Coleman and Taki is looking a little bit more dangerous for us. Yeah. It's partly Taki being taken out, but the other part of that is that Coleman isn't providing much of an option either. Neither of that right side for us really lacks pace without Godfrey in. So the cross going to the mid post, covered by Taki. McNeil comes up for the header, but he's down on the ground holding his face. It was a bit of a rough head collision between Charlie Taylor and McNeil, so play is stopped. So everyone watching, thank you. It's we have looks like just over 230 people watching right now. So if you're watching on X or watching on Facebook or YouTube, thank you for your interest, and glad we can watch it all with us on this, as Barry here is saying, quite a dire watch. So right now, this is feeling very much like what we did against Crystal Palace, where it was just hoofball, losing possession, just trying to get a break, and we just can't pull it off. So there is a water break because of this head injury. So yeah, what I was saying before though, for those interested in this content, we do try and do these live streams every time Everton play a match, and sometimes we do opposition watch-alongs, knowing Everton's scary relegation position. So sometimes Wes and I will do a watch-along together. But if you want to see this content come out, being able to subscribe through through YouTube, allows you to know when these shows are going live, rather than just waiting and scrolling through your phone or happening to be on Facebook or YouTube at the time something goes live. If by following us on YouTube as a subscriber, you can get notifications anytime we do go live. So looks like still quite a sunny day on Merseyside, so almost Arizona weather like it is over here. Looks like the water break is about over. They're taking McNeil off the pitch for a bit. I imagine he'll be fine, but it's just a head injury concussion procedure to make sure he's okay before they can bring him back on. But looks like that it was a drop ball that Burnley gave or let Everton take, but it was really in Everton's possession at that time. So Pickford's on the ball. Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise, another long ball to the back post, but didn't get far enough. DCL won it to Ashley Young, to James Garner, to back post to Decore. And Ashley Young trying to chase it. And at least causes a turnover. So by Ashley Young's pressure, it gave us possession. A clever turn, but blocked by Brun Larsson against Coleman on that left side. Nice. Okay, so Coleman's got the ball for a throw-in. Gomez is providing that short passing option and does a little chip over the top. I don't think it was the wrong idea, just didn't pan out. The Everton have so many of these. We win a throw in and then we do nothing with them. So Wormy in particular giving flack on the set plays. Another thing that we don't seem to have much creativity on is our throw-ins. The goal on these long balls is to win possession back, and then unless it's in play, we're not doing much with it. So the linesman gave a call that Everton didn't agree with. James Garner looks pretty disappointed. Let's just put it mildly, and Charlie Taylor gets the ball instead in Everton's attacking half on our right wing or Burnley's left. So counter-attacking option to the middle, challenged by Mikalenko. So they have the ball on the left wing, just where that shade cover is starting to show up. And looks like it's a throw-in. A corner kick on Burnley's left side off Ashley Young. Charlie Taylor looks like he might be going up for this one. When they zoom in, they'll show it a bit closer. So corners, it has been 2 to Everton and 2 to Burnley. Both Estevev and O'Shea are coming up for this one. Okay, looks like Cullen's going to do an in-swinger off his right foot. So it goes short and a free header, I think, to Fofana, but covered by Pickford because it was right at him. McNeil provided through the middle and receives it first time from Pickford, passes to Gomez, over to Branthwaite, who's looking for options, and now Everton are looking really flat-footed in the middle or wanting to receive the ball, and off-the-ball movement's really not excellent at all. McNeil does a poor chip ball, overhits Doucouré, and back to the Burnley keeper. So, Barry, I'm watching in the United States off Peacock, which is the streaming service for, I believe it's NBC. So I'm at 39 minutes and 32. DCL overhit it, but Coleman trying to provide width and is doing a great job on this tackle here. Fending off on the line against Odebear, trying to nick a corner, and I don't agree with that call, but basically Young and Coleman did a good job trying to cause a deflection for a corner, and it wasn't given. So yeah, the Blues, I think they just missed it. That looked like a clear corner to me. So Wolves are up 1-0 to West Ham. And the other score updates, Aston Villa are ahead. Ollie Watkins scored that one against Brentford. So far, so good for score updates. Not everyone that we need to score has, but Villa scoring against Brentford does not hurt our predicament. But the main match we're paying attention to today is the Luton-Bournemouth match, and that is 0-0 still. That looked like a pretty clear foul against DCL, shoulders in the back. So Everton really should be in quite a promising position. A little bit further to the right-hand side of the box than when Andre Gomez scored that great goal against, who was that again? Was it FA Cup against Crystal Palace on that replay that was played at Goodison on that cold night? So a very similar position. So curious to see. Yep, Gomez is on the ball, looks like, but he's a little bit further away for a strike, so it looks like he's going to the back post. And there's a 3v1 against Taki. Taki's holding his face on the ground. Doucouré won the next ball, but it's gone back outside by the 18 to 20 yard box. Taki's still on the ground holding his head. I'm surprised they didn't, holding his jaw, sorry, but surprised they didn't stop that for a head collision. But a really odd decision for Everton right there. Yes, they went to Taki, but it was a 3v1 against Tarkovsky. So what? And it looks like there may have been an elbow to the face of Taki. Looking back, maybe that'll be one of those VAR penalty conversations, but it looked like it was accidental. So to call that a penalty doesn't seem likely to me. So Just really underwhelming match so far. But in a way, not anything I wasn't expecting. You'd say a lot of pent up nervousness, frustration, not executing the play, chasing each other, or chasing both teams trying to chase the game, not having the skills to execute the pass in the final third, lots of turnovers. So a ping pong match, let's just say. But not as bad as Crystal Palace, but not a whole lot better. James Garner does a long ball through the channel to DCL, who that was a better timed run, and it caused Muric to have to come off his line to kick it out for a throw in. But as we've said, Everton, how do you convert all your throw in opportunities to make them practical or useful, and keep possession, cross the ball into the middle, make something of these? Because we have so many throw ins on our side, and almost all of them, even this one, Coleman to Ashley Young, is really not that effective at all. So Doucouré's on the ball now. He had the wide player in Ashley Young to choose from. He eventually goes to him, who passes back to James Garner, who's crossing to the back post. And Mikolenko's on a 2v1, so it was a little bit tough for him, sandwiched in the middle, leading to the ball coming out to the right side for Burnley. But a poor pass for them, and it's a turnover read by Taki. Doucouré in on goal. Passes slightly overhit to Miko, who does a really good cross. Okay. And so it was a cross that it actually went to Ashley Young. But sorry about that. Internet network just cut out on the laptop there for a moment. So if you hear no audio for me for a second, that's what's going on. But I'm at 44 minutes and 6 seconds over here. That was an interesting opportunity. Mikolenko is progressing forward and doing more crosses, so that part of it I can't complain. So, Lord Mumbongo, I am watching this from the United States, where I don't have the same restrictions that they do in the UK. So Peacock, which is an American streaming service for NBC, if you subscribe, you can watch all the Premier League matches. So Andre Gomez gets a yellow card for taking out one of the Burnley players in the middle of the park. Who was it? He took out Odebear, who's still a little bit proppy, but starting to run again. So it's a free kick right around the halfway line for Burnley at 40, and we're just into extra time now with 2 minutes on the from the fourth official. And lucky for us, Burnley can't do a set piece either. Again, well overhit by Cullen. So Cullen's having about as bad a day as Ashley Young crossing the ball today. Not excellent by any means, but our left side is looking better. I noticed that Mikolenko, especially after he saved that ball off the line last week, is showing a bit more confidence and progressing up the field, and he's actually making early crosses. The problem is they're not excellent crosses half the time, but a couple of them have been okay, and similar for McNeil, but it's just a little bit too sloppy. Not real. People are moving, then they're not moving enough, and a lot of balls back to Pickford, which is another one here. He's kicking a long ball to DCL, who does not win the header, but Branthwaite gets the recovery. Gomez is shielding the ball and shielded a little bit too much, but now with Gomez on that yellow card, I think Burnley are going to try and force the second yellow that wasn't there. Pickford again going long, and again too long to Cullen. I'm curious if there is a lot of wind today, or it's just simply poor crossing. So playing it up from the back. Back to Muric. We're at 46 minutes 35. Muric looking for a passing option. DCL chasing. What? Everton are up 1-0, everyone. What a terrible goal for Burnley to concede. But, man, I'll take it. Aaron Ramsdale 2.0, anyone? Muric just gifted Everton a 1-0 lead. We'll take it. You got to give credit to DCL for chasing that down, but Muric is head in, hanging his head in shame, and he really should be. But you know what? Toffees will take it. Any way we can score, we'll take it. But it has not been pretty. We have not been good enough. But Burnley just shot themselves in the foot, and they have looked really sloppy coming up from the back. They turned the ball over way too much. And yeah, Aaron Ramsdale 2.0, but this was even worse than Ramsdale's because when that one happened, Wissa had a slide-in challenge that was at least a little bit trickier. Muric had the passing option all in front. It was all in front of him, and he decides to not pass to anyone until DCL has a lunge. So, what an uninspiring, but I'll take it, goal for Everton. That's been 2 of those in the last 2 matches for DCL. Does that mean he's on a roll? Well, not really, but it has to help his confidence. Give him credit right there that, you know what, it's not all opportunities are gonna come to you, but you know what, we've got two goals out of DCL in the last 2 matches. So it is now half time, everyone. I'm going to take a quick breather and get some stats up, but I'll be back with you here real shortly. And until then, you'll get to hear some interesting elevator music, but I'll be back with you in a couple minutes. Okay, so what do we think, Blues? Let's just say a very underwhelming first half. But if when you're fighting relegation rivals, and as this has become, honestly, it's sometimes it's not making the mistakes. Everton have played it honestly a little bit too safe, but hasn't been, and we haven't been edgy up front at all. I think Odebear and Fofana, as well as Foster, have looked dangerous at little moments, but have not been able to take on, in the case of Foster and I suppose Fofana, because Odebear and Fofana move around a bunch, but on that right side, it's been a little bit uncomfortable. Jared Branthwaite hasn't always been able to take on the run-in player, but it has made some good recovery slides. But I think Everton's left side is looking better. I'm really surprised they're giving Ashley Young on SofaScore a 7 so far. I don't think he's been. I think he's been probably our worst performing player. Gomez has been okay. I'm wondering if it's because of the number of fouls that he has given just before halftime that they lowered his score. He's been providing a passing option through the middle. He doesn't have the legs to always go through the back line. Doucouré has been in the right positions, but he also has been incredibly sloppy on the ball. James Garner's put himself about, but as he has done a lot, the expression "he runs around a bit" comes to mind with him. Coleman's looked okay on that right side, but a little bit leggy at times between him and James Tarkovsky taking on anyone with pace. But lucky for us, Brun Larson on their left side isn't going to be a challenge for them on speed-wise, really. But anytime Odebear or Fofana come down that side, we were having some issues. And Taki basically had two very similar looking fouls just on his side of the 18-yard box. Yeah. And hello, Bob. So a lot of you guys watching, thank you. We're almost at 300 viewers live. So again, for those that are on Twitter or YouTube or Facebook, thank you for joining me on this live stream on the what do you guys call it in the UK? The 3 p.m. kickoff blackout. But we're able to give you a alternate content when you can't watch those games live. Me showing the videos live wouldn't be possible, or I'd be in trouble for copyright and distribution. But we can certainly talk to my observations of me watching off the Peacock app over here in the US of A. So the main highlights for this match so far is that Everton have shot themselves in the foot slightly less than Burnley did, which for the most part, I am not going to say his first name correct, I imagine, but Aryanet Muric was looking okay on crosses, but he doesn't look as good fleeted by foot and took way too long to release a ball just by halftime, and DCL tackled and it went just in the back of the net. So the match has been really uninspiring. We occasionally are trying to bring the ball up through the wings. A lot of the time that's through Jordan Pickford, who must basically just go to the gym and practice doing long balls and making sure that his hips and thighs don't get worn out from all the kicking he does, because he is the most. I guess there's enough teams that play from the back that technically have more possession-based football, but you'd have to think that Pickford must be winning some kind of statistic for the most long diagonal passes. Not going to say he's got the highest passing accuracy percent, because these long balls haven't been always that effective. Usually it's about a 1 in 10 chance they work out and the rest get turned over. But he's very, very busy. So what I'll also do, while we've got some time here before we come to the second half, I will read through some of the main score updates and highlights from some of the other matches. So the ticker at the bottom is up to date. Aston Villa scored against Brentford through Ollie Watkins on 39 minutes. According to the attack momentum chart, it looked like Brentford started the stronger of the two, but basically after about 5 to 10 minutes, all the momentum has been with Villa ever since. Fulham Newcastle is still 0-0 as well. And it looks like that match has been, according to attack momentum, almost entirely Fulham's way. And then from SofaScore ratings, Willock came off injured. Kraft, who we were able to make uncomfortable on their right fullback, is yellow carded and looking like he's doing quite poor, as is Jacob Murphy. And Dubravka is the only one with a passable rating, so maybe he's the only one actually doing much because he's saving a bunch of opportunities there. So the match that's of most interest to Evertonians that isn't the Everton match is the Luton Bournemouth. That is still 0-0. According to the main highlights or statistics for that match, it looks like not many. The XG between the two teams is still below 0.2. Luton have a little bit more of the possession, 53% to 47. Both teams have had, Luton have had 4 strikes or shots to Bournemouth 5, none of which have been on target. Luton had 5 corners to Bournemouth 1, but outside of that, really nothing to write home about, unless I was happening to watch the match myself for more of a breakdown. And Wolves West Ham is another match with a goal so far. There's a penalty to Pablo Sarabia. The main highlight-related players, according to SofaScore, are Fabianski for West Ham, and Bowen up front. Looks like they're rating that he's been doing okay, and looks like João Gomez has been playing quite poor for Wolves. But again, a lot of this is very subjective to algorithm numbers, as you see here, where they say Charlie Taylor has been poor, but the reality is for Burnley today, a lot of their players have been poor. When we say run around a bit, I feel like that's the case for Odegaard and Fofana. Lyle Foster looks okay. Brun Larsen is okay. Cullen has been terrible on their set pieces so far. Berger the only time I see him stand out is when they show his black eye and that he's basically fouled Gomez or Garner or Doucouré through the middle. They look comfortable with the 2 center halves and building it out from the back through Dara O'Shea and Maxime Esteve. But their right fullback, Lorenz Assignon, hasn't looked that good all day. And Charlie Taylor, other than him being a fantasy Premier League pick for low cost for a lot of people into fantasy Premier League, has he really done much? No. And of course, their keeper with that one mistake is getting dinged pretty badly. So why don't I also go through some of the Everton key highlights here real quick. So the main statistics on XG, which Dice talks about, Burnley have a higher XG so far of 0.41 to Everton's 0.3. They also had 59% of the ball to Everton's 41. But as we know, Everton can't hold on to the ball when we get it. But Burnley want to take the ball out from the back, and we take advantage of those turnovers. So, okay. In terms of total shots, Everton 5, Burnley 4. 1 shot on target each. We're very close to the start of the second half, everyone. So if it's time for a adult beverage or a glass of water, a coffee if it's early in the morning for you, now might be the time to get it. We're about to kick off again. But outside of that DCL opportunity, Everton have not really had many strikes on goal, a couple crosses that were intercepted early, but from what I can tell, there is no change at halftime yet. But if the substitutions do come up on the screen, we'll let you know. Looks like Coleman and Taki are looking at something on Branthwaite, something in his eye maybe that he has to go off on the pitch, so they're stopping not going back to the start yet. Oh, it might be. Looks like it was almost like a bug in his eye, but they are starting off again. And Pickford, go figure, is doing a long ball to the back post and slightly overhit, but DCL was right there. He didn't make any contact with it, so it's a Burnley throw-in. So a little short throw-in right by the corner post, taken out to Taki, who who handled Fofana. But it's still kind of a game of aerial ping pong, won back by Coleman, who does a little dink pass to DCL on the right wing, who won the ball and then tucked it back and got wiped out by, it looks like, either Charlie Taylor or Estevez. So that was a little clever play by Coleman. You don't see that type of subtle passing and situational awareness from Godfrey, so you take it. Oh, around at this time, you just never know. It wasn't that I was expecting it. If I don't say anything happened at halftime, then I've got less to talk about. So a cross went to the back post to Decore, but slightly overhit. So Mikalenko has it, and a first-time cross, slightly overhit. But again, you give credit for Mikalenko for trying, I guess, and he did take on a man, so that was better than what we've seen of him. But was it an excellent cross? No, but step one, take it on. Step two, pass that, effectively take on the player. Step three, cross it. But the fourth step of an well-executed cross didn't happen. Gomez and Young interchange here. Ashley Young's crosses are not very effective, comfortably covered by the abdomen or buttock of Charlie Taylor and knocked out for a throw into Coleman, who does a short throw in back to Young, back to Coleman, and looks like it was covered comfortably by Burnley. They're coming through the middle. Gomez and Coleman trying to show some physicality, but Coleman had too much of players with his hands as he was trying to challenge. So it's a free kick to Burnley on their half at 47 minutes and 22. So it looks like there may have been a score update for Aston Villa match. It is 2-0 to Aston Villa, with the second goal scored by Morgan Rogers and assisted by Yori Tillemans at 46 minutes. Burnley in possession here at 47 minutes 50 on their defensive half. Little 1-2, back to Estevez and back to their keeper. So let's see what he does this time. Yep, right move. He just hoofs it long in hope, just to make sure he didn't replicate his blunder from the first half, which has given Everton possession, but the header from Taki wasn't clinical enough and Andre Gomez couldn't win it back. So Burnley are now in possession. Oh, okay. So that was close from Odebear charging through, but one of those sliding tackles from Branthwaite had it covered, and he cleared it all the way out for a throw in on the left side. So a really poor play by Charlie Taylor with Cullen, giving Everton an opportunity through Gomez, but his through ball was intercepted. So now it's back in Burnley's hands. They're going out to their right side at 48 minutes 42. Taking on Mikalenko is Lyle Foster. And Assignon was ill-equipped to take on Branthwaite, who shielded the ball out for an Everton throw-in. Oh, sorry. Goal kick. I'm getting my terms mixed up. Sorry, everyone. Yeah. We can, it may not have been a beauty, but the goal means a whole lot if we can get 3 points today. So either Pickford swatting at flies or he's telling everyone to go a little bit further forward. He kicks a long ball from his goal kick. Overhit or DCL didn't anticipate Ashley Young chasing Taylor. Ball goes up in the air. Another challenge by DCL. Shielded to Gomez. Gomez to Ashley Young. Ashley Young to Coleman, who turns back. He's got Gomez as an option behind him, who he utilizes. So Gomez now does a switch of play to Branthwaite around the halfway line. And unfortunately, back to Pickford. That's the one thing where Branthwaite could have actually turned and been creative on that left side and was playing it safe again. So I'm not sure if that's something he's been coached and told to do, but there's a lot of growing opportunities with possession football that Branthwaite isn't doing himself. Gomez on the ball, playing it through the middle as that kind of pivot player for Pickford. Passes it to Mikalenko that crosses to DCL, and the header went to Dukes, but a little bit overhit and covered by the Burnley defenders. James Garner chasing the centre back to make him uncomfortable, but they held on to, or Burger, sorry, making him uncomfortable, but just handled okay. I think it may have gone out. There was a bit of contact for James Garner on that tackle on Burger, so I think it's going to be a free kick on the Burnley, around the Burnley D, let's say, around the kickoff spot. Here at, no, 20 yards out, sorry, or 20-yard box, basically, for Burnley. It was a really poor cross or chip ball through the middle, but not handled by McNeil, and it's led to a play on the right side with Fofana on Andre Gomez, and a little bit over hit, and Mikalenko was able to help Gomez out. Yeah. And the Blues is right. We need every bit of luck right now because we've had some bad luck against us when it comes to points deductions and everything else, but we've also haven't had the rub of the green with these little these rare opportunities where we're right in front of goal and caught the ball in. Sometimes you can say it's luck, sometimes it's lack of skill. I think for the most part it is lack of skill, but I haven't looked at the live table, Eugene, but from what you're saying there, if we're 15th on the table right now, we take it. What we don't know is can we keep a hold of this lead and what the points deductions are going to look like and what the scores are at other matches around the ground. It is still 0-0 for Luton and Bournemouth, and no scores have changed. So the ticker is still up to date. So I'm at 52 minutes and 4 seconds right now. Estevev and O'Shea are sharing the passing duties through the back. Everton are playing a flat or a 4-4-2 out of possession. Oh, looks like Bournemouth may have just scored a goal against Luton. And it was scored by, they have not given who scored the goal yet, just the notification. So I'll keep you apprised of the goal scorer when they do provide it, but it appears Bournemouth might be up 1-0 against Luton. So the goal was scored by Marcus Tavernier for Bournemouth. And it has been confirmed, I believe, right now at 1-0. It is a little bit tricky unless you're watching these matches to know if there's a VAR call impacting the a score change. But for right now, I'll update the ticker that Bournemouth are now also up. So we're having a pretty good day so far, Blues. We've still got 40 plus minutes of being nervous and hoping to cling on to this lead. But right now, Burnley haven't been that dangerous. They do have the ball right now, though, through Brun Larson, but it was off the heel of or blocked by Coleman and led to a turnover. So real quick here. Oh, okay. So it went right through the middle to McNeil, and looks like there was a bit of argy-bargy and a poor tackle against McNeil. So it may be coming back for that. Oh, gee. Okay, never mind. The play stopped because DCL was offside again. Oh, I missed the. I said the update. I just didn't revise the ticker for Villa. Apologies there. So Villa are up 2-0. Bournemouth up 1-0. Wolves up 1-0. And Everton up 1-0. The other matches that have been played so far, live with Fulham and Newcastle, is still 0-0. So Burnley playing out from the back again through Estevez. I get his name wrong. Apologies. Through O'Shea and Berger. Berger passes. Brun Larsen's now on the ball. Goes out wide to Charlie Taylor. Takes maybe one too many touches. Goes to the back post. Lyle Foster cuts it back. McNeil puts his head in a dangerous spot, but slows it down. They're on the edge of the box right now through Assignon and Lyle Foster. And he is either a free kick or an offside against Bournemouth. So Everton have a break in the play. So for everyone watching, thank you. If you are watching through X, Facebook, or YouTube, I appreciate all of the interest and support in the match. And if you like this content and want to be more involved or help our channel grow, liking and subscribing through YouTube is the best way to do that. Let's see. We're at 55 minutes 40. Pickford has hoofed a long ball to Assignon, who heads it nicely out for a Everton throw-in. DCL shielding the ball out for that throw-in. Pass gives it to Mikalenko to do the throw, who throws it back to Gomez to do a switch of play to Branthwaite. Back to Gomez, who uses Pickford. So Pickford now another long ball, switching to the right side this time. Overhit again, but not handled well by Charlie Taylor, but recovers on the second attempt with Coleman at his feet. But the pressing's looking pretty good there. James Garner almost winning that ball in the 18-yard box of Burnley's, but they've switched a play from Lyle Foster. He was complaining that Mikalenko was holding his shirt and wanting a free kick and doesn't get it and looking quite irate, which I was quite a slow footballer, so if I could get past someone and they had to pull my shirt, it drove me nuts. And I think there was a little bit of shirt pulling, but compared to what happens in the Premier League, that was rather marginal. So I think there was no free kick to be given there. So I'm not sure, Emma, if you're asking, will there be or what would I do? I think right now, unfortunately, with the midfield and the way it is, I'm not sure there would be that many changes because DCL is more of a target man and holds on to possession. I think they might bring in Beto at some point, but the turnovers that Beto gives it lets more goal opportunities happen going forward or defensively. But I would be quite nervous actually to put on Beto right now, the way, especially with DCL scoring the last 2 goals. There is a corner right now though. Berger went charging forward and covered by Branthwaite, but the ball went out of play. So it'll be a corner to Burnley here. I'm at 57 minutes and 40. It looks like Cullen is going to be doing an outswinger off his right foot. Went past Tarkovsky, but Mikalenko handled it comfortably. Yeah. He's picked up. I think anytime players are running at him, that's where he needs to, if he wants to be the best in the world, the way we're... Oh, okay. Chance for Everton, sorry. DCL. Oh, he took on a player, but it was well saved by Muric there at 58 minutes and 22 for me. But led to a turnover and Burnley on the ball on their left side. Yeah, DCL should have done better with that, but it was on target, but it wasn't. Looked like it was open or like hitting the pectorals rather than the fingertips on that save from Muric. So really not an excellent strike. Assignon tried to cross the ball or strike from way out and well over the bar. So yeah, they're showing a replay there of the opportunity. Assignon flipped over on the pass to O'Shea. DCL picked it up. I think he may have megged O'Shea and then went to the near post, and it was actually covered by the right. Actually, that was quite a good save in the end. It wasn't right at the keeper, but it wasn't hit with enough conviction. Anytime you go to that near post, the ball often goes out of play. But it wasn't a terrible strike. It may have been a better foot save, but the fact that DCL had it on the ground allowed for that foot save to happen. But DCL should be scoring in that position, absolutely. We're at 59 minutes and 45. It is Everton 1, Burnley 0. Yeah. Yeah, we've seen Amadou Onana take a penalty, haven't we? So Gomez involved in another turnover. It's a 4v5 for Everton, a switch of play to Ashley Young, who's wide open. Does he strike first time? No, he crosses the back post to Corey. Oh, a little bit overhit. So unfortunately, Ashley Young's first touch let him down, so he had to take an extra touch. And his cross was not half bad in the end. So he recovered and had a pretty good cross to the back post. And Doucouré, we'll show on the replay here. So a little bit heavy touch from Ashley Young, went to the back post. But it was too close to the line, and Doucouré had to kind of swing his head from left to right to keep it in play, and he kind of shanked it out. If he scored from that angle, it would have been possible, but likely covered by Muric in the end anyway. So if I saw that correctly, Brentford also scored. So, Brentford have scored twice. Interesting. So Brian Mburmo and Zanka have now scored for Brentford in quick succession, and it is now 2-2. And there's a substitution for Burnley, bringing on Vitinha. I'll check who he subbed off for here in a moment. Looks like West Ham just equalised as well against Wolverhampton. So I'm at 61 minutes 30. Everton up 1-0. Not an impressive showing from Burnley. They're looking dangerous on occasion through their wingers, but they're not. They lack the same class that we are screaming that we need for Everton in those positions. So very similar types of teams. Everton have had a couple interesting opportunities recently through sloppy play at the back from Burnley, but they have not converted their opportunities through Decore and Ashley Young recently, and DCL's chance that was well saved by Muric. Another opportunity here, Dwight McNeil running through on goal. He's lacking the leg pace to take on both sets of players, but does a nice. So unfortunately, McNeil's lack of leg pace or leg speed let him down there, and he had to cut back and look for a passing option, and almost plucked out DCL in the 18-yard box by the penalty spot, but not to be. It is now in Burnley's hands on the right wing. An overhit ball for Assignon to try and take on, and as a result, knocked over Branthwaite. So the score change that I said happened for West Ham, the highlight was that goal came in, but they did a correction. So it seems that VAR or the officiating overruled that goal scoring opportunity. So there's still 1-0 to Wolverhampton. Yeah, there's efforts from McNeil that are interesting, the right kinds of ideas, but he lacks the leg pace to be quicker, the comfort with both feet to take on players without taking an extra touch, and then those passes slightly overhit. Decore is kind of similar, I think, a little bit more sloppy. A lot of his work has been that second man up in set pieces in support of Calvert-Lewin, and hasn't hit a ball on target today. Terrible, no, but good enough. Hard to say. I would be giving him probably a 5, maybe a 4.5 for today so far. I think the main players that I would say have been doing quite well today have been Pickford. Of course, he's had a lot of passes to do, and Andre Gomez, who's giving the ball off to James Garner on the right side, blocked. Gomez shielding the ball and getting taken out. Looks like maybe by Berger or Brune Larson. Oh no, Cullen. Sorry. So Cullen took out Andre Gomez, who was shielding the ball there. And that looks, the more they look at that, he went sliding into the back of Gomez. Could have been a yellow card, but doesn't appear like it was going to be, or it is called that way. But it was, a very good body positioning from the experienced Andre Gomez. And it's about maybe 24 yards out, so probably a little bit too far outside the striking range. It looks quite windy from what they're seeing here, so there's no way he's going to strike this in on goal. He's going to look for a back corner crossing option and McNeil came over with his hand on his mouth to talk tactics. I suppose asking, do you want me to take it? And Gomez says, nah, mate, I got it. I'm sure they say mate over there in UK as much as they do in Australia. But Andre Gomez is on the ball here. And he does end up going for a strike. Certainly had the power, but it was comfortably over the bar and it was never going in. Yeah, the Blues, I agree with you. That looked like that could have been a booking. Potentially it was because Andre Gomez put his leg in that position to get hit. But to me, that was a yellow card for the captain of Burnley in Cullen. Coleman handling the long ball, which goes to James Garner. DCL providing that target man option, but it looks like there was DCL was offside again. So I think he wasn't expecting that header to go to him, because sometimes if a striker is never in an offside position. Oh yeah, he does have excellent hair. My hair to prop up that way requires a lot more gel and a better facial structure to show off that length of hair. Oh, that's a bad tackle. A straight red. So Burnley are down to 10 men, and O'Shea looking in a giant form of regret right there. I think he was the last man, and they're calling for a Brun Larson screaming for a VAR check to see if that's a red card. We'll see if that changes. But O'Shea looks like he was the last man. Went for a sliding tackle. McNeil was going to be in on goal if he had passed O'Shea. The problem is, of course, he was the last man, but Burnley are faster than McNeil. So there's a very good chance that O'Shea could have recovered from that. But yeah, that has to be a red. So it was an overhit pass. Oh, O'Shea turned with his right foot to open to his right side, and he did not, and he slightly overhit it, or a sloppy touch. McNeil, credit to him, he's put in the effort today. He hasn't been excellent in possession, but his effort has been there, and he chased just like DCL did, making Burnley uncomfortable. O'Shea went in sliding, and you know what? We'll take it. Everton are now in prime position on 67 minutes and 30 seconds. No substitutions for Everton. But apologies there. Internet cut out again. In terms of false sense of security, let's not get ahead of ourselves in terms of Burnley did actually come back and equalize. I think it was against Chelsea with 10 men not that long ago. So they can actually be a danger with 10 men. They're restructuring as a result, and Brun Larson is taken off. And they're bringing on Brownhill. So, Barry, I haven't checked the recent updates there, but I think I have heard that Brentford did score again, and this time it was from Wissa. So on 68 minutes. So Brentford are now up 3-2. Yeah, I don't want to be in a position where I would love to say credit to a team like Brentford for scoring, but we're such in a desperate position ourselves that we need all the help that we can get, and we're score watching again. But right now, it's in Everton's hands. So if we blow this, it's on us. We have the goal. We have the home field behind us. We're a goal up. Burnley haven't looked that dangerous going forward. They're down to 10 men. Their penalty taker in Brun Larson, who scored for them last week, got subbed off just for defensive structuring. We should be in prime position here, but we have to stay vigilant, rigid, and solid. And at some point, when do we make the right substitutions? I would say maybe Jack Harrison for Doucouré in a number 10 position, something like that. And maybe in the last 10 minutes, if we let the wild card of Beto come on, or maybe a Yusuf Chamiti for DCL. But otherwise, I can't see Dyche making many substitutions when we have a lead at home like this. That was not as far away as I thought it looked at the beginning. Brownhill making an impact pretty quick. Took a strike. Just went out. It was curling towards the back post. Pickford wasn't that close to it, but went out for a goal kick. Yeah. Wormy's comment there. I'm trying to avoid trying to show as many posts with swear words in it, but the idea, in my view, and I think you're right on the same vein that I was, McNeil, every time he's run forward, is actually being chased and intercepted by Burnley through the line, and Burnley's able to turn around and recover and get back in time. to tackle him. So why they needed to take him out like that was a bit silly, but O'Shea seemed flustered from his mistake and tried to amend for it with a sliding tackle that was a bit too heavy. And we know ex-Burnley players like to impact the success of future Burnley players or the current squad, partly by Sean Dyche and his success against Burnley since he's been here at Everton now. He's in prime position to win 3 of 3. And we had did Michael Keane score 1 or 2? I can't remember, against Burnley at Turf Moor, and McNeil was in a similar vein that day. It looks like there may have been a goal update for West Ham and Wolves. Knowing the last time I said that it was overturned, let me just sit on that result before I change the ticker. So it looks like Burnley might have moved to a 3 at the back formation and have Brownhill through the middle. Tarkovsky on the ball using Coleman, who's migrating out to the right side. He's using Ashley Young, Maxine Taylor, but no one was ahead of him. So it led to a turnover from Brownhill through the middle, and Coleman winning the ball back. Ashley Young now on it. Had Decore as an option, and also as DCL as the target man, kind of in that right wing position. He's looking for someone to cross to. No one there, so he cuts in and takes on Estevev. That was probably the best play of DCL all day. He goes to the right wing, takes on their center half, cuts in again, strikes on his left foot when he's getting closed down and just misses. That was, I know we've given DCL a lot of crap this year, but this is what DCL can be capable of doing, plays like that. And yeah, the Blues is right. He did a dribble. Occasionally he can, and what I've been saying is that he could actually be a right wing option if we decided to take off Young right now, have DCL at right wing, and then you would have Beto or Chimiti up front. That's been my thought of if you played DCL and Beto together, you'd have DCL more as a right winger at times. So we're seeing a very inspired Dwight McNeil doing a lot of chasing. Looks like there may also be a score update from Luton Bournemouth. I will check the validity of that, but it appears that Luton may have equalized. Lyle Foster's on the ball for Bournemouth. Oh, sorry, Burnley. I'm getting my teams mixed up, and it goes out for a corner kick. Looks like Collins injured on the ground there from the tackle from Jared Branthwaite. So the score update: Brentford is up 3-2. Everton is still up 1-0, but there's a corner for Burnley. Fulham Newcastle is still 0-0. Luton have equalized through Jordan Clark on 73 minutes. And West Ham has also equalized through Lucas Paqueta on a penalty. So ticker will be updated. So a quick free kick to Everton. Doucouré's on the ball. Really, he was looking for passing options and didn't realize that he was an attacking player and a defender may want to tackle him, but he's recovered well after that. He's on the right wing looking for crossing options, but he's being double teamed, so he passes back to James Garner in the middle, does a one-touch pass to Young, going back to Coleman. They're going to switch the play. Tarky's on the ball, switching to the left side, a little bit over hit, but handled by Branthwaite. Now to McNeil, who's in the middle, does a little touch to DCL. I think offside, but hard to tell if they called that, but his shot was blocked by Muric in the end anyway. It's 75 minutes and 3 seconds here. So I guess Emma's point about needing fresh legs and what the Blues saying that maybe Beto and Chimiti are warming up. If you guys have any ideas on who you would want to bring on, or who from the bench options we could bring on, let me know, because the options for the bench today for Everton, I'll quickly bring that up and show you what we have for bench options. Anyone can think of who we should bring on, let me know. My thought is DCL is looking in really good form right now, so I wouldn't take him off. If we did want to bring on Beto, then I would bring him I'd bring DCL to that right side. He's been a really good target man, actually, at times, and taking on some of the players. Yeah, maybe it's time for Beto as well. Oh, did West Ham? So I must have got the ticker wrong. Apologies. Although that would be about right that somehow David Moyes finds a way to to manufacture 10 goals. On my first game, going to Goodison, I saw a team that scored 7. It looks like Jack Harrison is warming up, so maybe he's coming on for Ashley Young. So well slicked back, oiled hair, got his shirt on and ready to go. So it looks like he'll be coming on here shortly. I imagine for Ashley Young, but we'll see. Doucouré does a slightly overhit long ball that DCL's chasing on but can't get to in time. So they're building through the back. Colin now on the ball. There's a flat line of 5. So Foster on the ball on the left side now. So he's switched from left to right. And Assignon had every opportunity to equalize right there and just fluffed his lines. I think he struck the ball with his right foot and kicked his left ankle. So embarrassing for him, but you know what? If Burnley want to keep shooting themselves in the foot, we'll take it. But lucky for us, not skillful for us, lucky for us. We're a little bit less poor in possession. We haven't made terrible errors the way 2 Burnley defenders have in their keeper and O'Shea. But we haven't been excellent going forward, but we are certainly showing determination in our chasing. Yeah. I guess the Blues, the right side worries me. Do you think we want to bring on Godfrey? Do we have no option there? If Ashley Young is about to come off for Harrison, what would your recommendations be in the chat? Because for me, I'm not sure we have a better option right now. I think if Ashley Young doesn't have the legs to finish this match, Harrison can be positionally okay. Our problem with him hasn't been defensively. It's been what we need him to do is scoring goals and looking dangerous up front. So if it's solely having him hold a position and track back, I think he's okay for that. Because Ashley Young playing 2 matches in a week is certainly a liability. James Garner winning that tackle now, and another counter-attacking play. DCL presenting on the right wing with an overlapping run, but he doesn't choose to use Ashley Young, so he's gone into the middle now, looking for another passing option. He's got McNeil, and he strikes from outside the 18-yard box. Looked like it curled just over the top left corner, claiming a deflection, but doesn't get it. Yeah. What we need is Coleman from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and we wouldn't have this problem. But I'm not sure I trust Godfrey right now. If he was in the whole match, that's one thing. But that's the risk with bringing in defenders when you're holding a lead. Is how quick are they to get into the match, or are they going to make a play like O'Shea just did and make one of these blundering errors that? And sometimes it's having a leggy fullback, or it's an experienced fullback like a Coleman coming in where you can trust him for the last 5 minutes, like we did against Newcastle. I don't think Godfrey's that kind of player, but he has not been the problem outside of a couple of these set pieces for headers, but he did look a lot more comfortable in the right back position midweek. But Coleman is advancing and he might look leggy, but he is taking the game on. He's got Ashley Young on his right, and he's going to try and take on Charlie Taylor. In successful, goes to the back post, but no Everton player on the back post. So Assignon clears. Lyle Foster was chasing, but Branthwaite had it covered. So it's now with Pickford. Pickford to Taki. Taki to Gomez. Just little free possession passing between the two of them. Coleman now looking for a passing option. Again, has Gomez. Yeah, although Gomez hasn't been outstanding, how he's handled possession has really been distinctive of what we have been lacking with James Garner, with Ladrissa Garner-Gay, and Amadou Onana. But the other thing, because we don't have either on two central midfielders as substitute options, there's a bit of a concern potentially with fatigue with some of our players, Gomez in particular. Another long ball to DCL coming out in the right wing, who's taking on Berger, but Berger handles it just. And a lazy toe poke clearance by the keeper, but Doucouré sloppy play off his chest and causes a turnover. So it's a throw in to Burnley on their side at 82 minutes here. So thank you for everyone watching along. We're now at about a little over 350 people watching live. Looks like three substitutes coming on for Burnley. Was that Rodriguez? So 9, 25, and 7 are the numbers of the players coming on for them. We're seeing Harrison and Beto coming on. So once we get all these moving pieces, looks like it'll be DCL coming off. So he's getting a standing ovation from whoever they chose to highlight on the camera there. Yeah. Well, I guess the question was, and we'll talk about this a bit more later, if the team that we have on are okay positionally and we don't trust the bench players to do we want to put on, yes, legginess, but if you have a player that's more of a liability, would you rather a leggy Coleman or a more in shape Ben Godfrey? And we don't have the central midfield options. And Beto up front, who's coming on now, he is pinball wizard, maybe is the right expression, but Burnley are making a lot of substitutions. Rodriguez, Amdouni, and Gudmundsson coming on. I think Odebear came off, Charlie Taylor came off, and I'll see if I can get the last player who came off as well. So I think I'm overdue for some score updates here on the ticker. I believe we have a 3-3 score update from Villa and Brentford. So Villa have equalized. We have West Ham have now gone ahead at the Molineux and are up 2-1 against Wolves. Luton and Bournemouth is still 1-1, and Newcastle is up 1-0 against Fulham at Craven Cottage. Jay Rodriguez not looking comfortable at handling Taki's physicality. Taki wins a header comfortably back to Pickford. Yeah, Wormy, two dreadful teams. The goal right now is to be less dreadful than Burnley, and I think we're doing that. Across to the back post, and Beto and Harrison were presenting and available, and I think Estevez did just enough to handle that. So Harrison has a throw-in, passes it back to Doucouré, back to Coleman, back to Taki, passes to the middle to Gomez, does a little pivot, chip over the top to Harrison, who's going to get there at the touchline, crosses it with his left. Oh, that was close. He unfortunately went slightly behind McNeil, and he couldn't handle it. So they played it out from the back again. Beto caused the turnover, and Harrison received it. He's given it to Doucouré, and the obvious pass was read, and the lunge covered by Berger. But Everton have the ball again on our defensive half, and this is where we want it. Coleman has the ball, has a lot of passing options. He'll use Taki, but he's also Taki will use Pickford. Pickford does a long diagonal to the towards the corner flag, but out of play. A lot of yelling from is it Steve or Ian Wone and Dyche with lots of fingers and numbers and trying to make sure that we're all structured positionally and not overcommitting forward and letting Burnley give the ball away in possession again. So Burnley have the ball with their keeper at 85 minutes and 53 seconds. Taps himself on the chest, I guess, saying "I got you," but again, just possession in their back line. So if they're in this location, I don't think Everton are in much threat as long as they stay deep like this. They chip it to their winger, but Branthwaite had it covered with Mikalenko. To Dukes, back to Mikalenko, and a through ball to Beto, who wins the ball. Oh, that's not a. I'm not sure that's a foul, and Goodison is outraged. He slid to get the ball and got there first, and Estevev rolled over him and then fell to the ground and got the free kick. So I'm not. We're going to show a replay here. Oh, okay. So while Beto was sliding, he made ever so contact on the defender, but it was a pretty weak one to give. But I think it may have been just enough to call. Gomez has the ball now, and a through ball to Beto. Beto's in on goal, 1-on-1, and he gets knocked over. No call, ref. That could easily have been a penalty, but Beto seems to, after he gets knocked, he exaggeratingly dives instead of falls over with the contact. So it made it look like he manufactured a foul there. But I think that really should have been, yeah. So there were studs to the ankle. But and the Blues is right. I think that was actually a penalty shout, but it's almost like he gets pushed, then he actually is strong enough to stand up, then he realizes he was knocked, and then he dives on the ground because it should have been a foul. That was the kind of way he falls over. So it's really hard for a referee to not call that fake diving, even if he was fouled. So Beto didn't help himself there, but he was in on goal. I think he almost slowed down to be hit by the player there. But it was also not excessive contact from Berger, who goes hip to hip with him. So in a way, I don't think there was excessive contact. But yeah, so there's definitely contact, but not all contact is a penalty. It's a contact sport, and it at least looked to me that it was, if you make contact with someone's hip, that shouldn't knock someone over. If you're like, especially if it's hip to hip as you're running along, if you hit someone's ankle, you're knocking on their shoulder, you're pushing them in the back to make them stumble. Beto, just the way he did that just looks like clumsy to me. Harrison through the middle to Gomez. Gomez gets taken up by Brownhill, tackled by Brownhill, so that Jay Rodriguez is on the ball going out wide right. But Jay Rodriguez is also part of a poor Burnley side that have played a little bit worse than Everton today, and he knocked it up for a throw-in. So we are now at 88 minutes 50. It's the expression squeaky bum time, or staying composed here. So we've got 1 minute to figure out how many extra minutes. That's a foul, ref. That has to be a yellow. So Beto turned the defender, and he pulled his shirt back pretty obviously. So Berger, after having an excellent recovery tackle against Beto earlier on, clearly just manhandled and held his shirt back. So copped a professional yellow card foul. So I think what's worse than that, Wormy, is that it's a 30 million for a player that's strong enough to win, to outpace the player, slowed down, then got tackled, then was strong enough to stand up, and then is really bad at diving on the ground to show that he was tackled. So from what Eugene's saying, and I'm sure I'll see it here in a minute, 5 minutes of added time. So I know Emma was worried earlier. Hopefully you're doing a little bit better, but it is certainly anxious times. But Everton are in the prime position right now, but that doesn't mean anything couldn't happen. Quick update from the scores. No changes. Villa and Brentford, 3-3. Villa up 1-0 to Burnley, as we're watching here, and Burnley down to 10 men. Fulham and Newcastle. Newcastle still up by 1 at 1-0. Luton and Bournemouth are at a draw of 1-1. Wolves are behind at home to West Ham, 2-1. So yes, 5 minutes of added time. I'm at 90 minutes to 32. Mikalenko makes a clearance off the right arm of Jay Rodriguez, so I think it's not a yellow card, but a free kick to Everton. And a very disappointed looking... Oh, no. It looks like Luton just went ahead and scored against Bournemouth, and they're up 2-1. I'll wait until that's confirmed before VAR takes anything back, but Bournemouth may have given Luton a lead at Kenilworth Road. Another header one. A lot of aerial ping pong now, and Taki looking pretty strong on the ball. But this is the area where quite okay to have a lot of aerial ping pong. Branthwaite heads the ball down to the left corner flag, chased by Beto and McNeil. Their keeper clears, and Branthwaite doesn't read the ball and misses it entirely. The ball's now out on the left side for Goodmunson. Crosses it to the back post, handled by Mikalenko. Recovered ball to Brownhill. Brownhill out wide right to their centre back. Burnley still on the ball, but one back by Everton. Turned over though. Doucouré winning the ball. Here's a counter-attacking option. Everton, let's go. We should be scoring right here. Doucouré to Beto. Beto on a 1v1. What does he do with it? Goes to his left. Beto falls over again. He did not. And Doucouré raising his hands up, I think, to the Gladys Street, trying to get a reaction. We should really have been scoring there. So Luton did score, and that has been confirmed that it is 2-1 to Luton. And it was scored by Colton Morris on 90th minute. So I'll update the ticker there to Luton 2, Bournemouth 1. It is a corner for Everton, and they do a short corner. Passing to shoot in from Ghana, and he gets fouled. Is that not a... How's that not a penalty, ref? Ghana is on the ground and got wiped out. Maybe they'll call that back on VAR, but that looked like either he fell over and I'm just an Everton supporter that wants a penalty, but that looked like a penalty to me on first glance. Well, thank you, the Blues, I guess. I just need a mustache and a British accent and a lot of years of winning trophies for Manchester. So at 93 minutes and 26, a free kick around the halfway line for Burnley. They're showing the replay now of the... James Garner there was almost no contact there, and I think the referee made the right call. I know those do get given, but I don't... If that was given against us, I'd be outraged, so I don't think that was a penalty. So the cross comes in from the keeper to their back post, and Beto looking strong, taking the player on their left wing in Goodmunson, who plays back on a stronger foot to Brownhill. Brownhill passes through to the middle, and they switch it back to Goodmunson on his left side, takes it down on his chest. He's taking on Beto, crosses to the back post. No one was there, but Berger receives it on the edge of the 18-yard box, looking for a passing option. Very slow. McNeil has it covered. Well done. Harrison closes down. Coleman heads it out of play for a corner kick. He's not taking the risk he did last week, even if that was clearly for a goal kick. And very similar to last time, they said no shout. And honestly, I don't... Even if Pickford screamed at him from that distance, I wouldn't be shocked if he couldn't hear it. Burnley are desperate. Their keeper is up for this one. We're at 94 minutes and 42 seconds. Taki clears, and there's going to be a mad dash. James Garner is chasing, but he's not going to get there in time. And it was well kept in, and Goodmunson has the ball here at 95 minutes. Cross to the back post. Cleared by Branthwaite. Harrison on the ball. Knocks it through, and we're going, and it's going to go out for another throw-in to Burnley, right where Sean Dyche is standing. Looks like a windy, messy day, and come on, you Blues, probably coming around. And is that the match over? It is. My first watch-along with Everton winning a match. the first time in what seems like many months, is it the first game in 16? Everton have finally gained 3 points. But, wow. Whew. What do you mean this sport isn't wonderful and stressful? There are some other matches still going on live, so I'm going to keep an eye on there. So at least what I have here on my SofaScore app, we have Villa 3, Brentford 3, Fulham 0, Newcastle 1, Luton 2, Bournemouth 1, Wolves 1, West Ham 2. The Blues, yeah. We finally did it. And it was a Calvert-Lewin goal. And looks like a very dejected Burnley side, but I'm not sure they should be anything other than dejected. They were they were slightly more poor than us. So in about 10 minutes, we're going to be going to the post-match, which will be hosted by Wes and I. Give me just coordinating with Wes here quickly. But how are you guys all feeling? I see we won a game in 2024, and at last from Martin. A feeling of it's hard to be happy, but I guess you take it, but you're not sure where to put your emotion. Jim's talking about Brentford looking like they're losing some composure. So bear with me, delay. Make sure we get set up for the next stream here in a few minutes. Lots of waves and cheering going on. So it looks like we may be having some StreamYard technical difficulties, but I'm working with Wes on that now. There's a potentially he comes and joins me, and we continue this watch along as a match reaction. Let's do some score checks here quickly. Apologies if I'm not reacting quicker. There seems like we're having some technical difficulties behind the scenes here. So Luton is now confirmed as a 2-1. Newcastle's match is still playing. Brentford is 3-3. What else we got? Yeah, Newcastle up 1-0. West Ham up 2-1. Mm. Mm. Yeah, we got a win, but so did Luton. But yeah, very lucky, as Paul is saying here. Yeah, the live stream that's expected to go on here appears to have disappeared on the back end for StreamYard. So potentially we join on this one, or if we can get another post up, we will. But some technical difficulties there. Okay, well, Blues, this is quite a momentous day. It shouldn't need to be for a well-established Premier League club in Everton, but guess what? We haven't had 3 points for quite some time. If we look at the current table now, while I unfortunately be a bit unprofessional and communicate with our backroom team. Mm, mm, mm. So Everton are now in 15th place after this win today, a goal difference of -10. And we're now ahead of Brentford. Brentford dropped down to 16th with that draw today. Forest still to play. Luton now on 25 points, equal with Forest, but behind them on goal difference. And Burnley are now on 19 points. So again, a situation where unless there's drastic points deductions for Everton, I can't see Burnley being involved. And I think it's, relatively speaking, a 4-horse race, maybe with Crystal Palace. Mm.
Looks like Aussie Chris is having a few technical difficulties. Major sandstorm in Qatar, Emma. Bit blowy. Chris is just restarting his computer. See what happens there. Right. I'll just wait for Chris. But how we feeling, Blues? Needed that, didn't we? Great, a great performance by DCL for a change. I thought Andre Gomez was good, but it was a very, very laboured performance. Again, he looked a lot leggy. I don't know why he's making subs on 82 minutes. When you could see half the team was dead on the feet and they were down to 10 men, and yet he failed to go for it again. But, I'll take the 3 points, obviously, and on to Chelsea next week. How's everyone feeling? Chris is in the background somewhere, but there he is.
Thank you for saving that. Somehow, I'm not sure what's going on in the back of house here, but my laptop froze fully, so I restarted and I couldn't join. But looks like we'll be going off this show for the post match.
Post-match. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously StreamYard's having a few issues, but we'll crack on.
Yeah.
How do you feel it went?
We were the less crap team today. We gave effort. We still can't put the ball back in the back of the onion bag without someone else helping us.
You're a bit laggy there, mate.
Yeah, I both cat out. Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yeah, it's all right now with it, but it was all right before, and then it went dead laggy. So I don't know what's going on, mate. Obviously, some issues behind the scenes with StreamYard.
Yeah, StreamYard just lost all of our files.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's bound to happen when we find?
And you know what? I think that performance, the whole performance, was obviously take the 3 points all day, but they looked the better side with 10 men. Like, we looked dead nervy, and I thought, with them going down to 10 men, I thought that's the ideal opportunity to throw 2 up front on, and he took DCL off, brought better one, and I just thought, like, the game management from the manager was just really poor again. Like, it was just like he was happy to settle for the 1-0 and defend. Like, I know Calvert-Lewin had a couple of chances and there was just nobody in the box because they were more worried about Burnley coming forward and breaking on them than what he was, pushing into the box.
Yeah, completely afraid to take a risk at the end.
Yeah, that's just it. It's having a bit of balls. You know what I mean? It's like, these are down to 10 men, and the Blues are saying they've got better players on the ball. They haven't. They're garbage. They're in like 19th position because they haven't got good players
all day.
They literally haven't got better players than we've got on the ball.
Yeah, so they didn't it felt like I was watching Everton versus Everton on a FIFA match and no one could score. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were going up forward, looking dangerous, and just kick it over the bar all the time. And yeah,
it's like they both wanted to lose that game. You know what I mean? It was awful.
Burnley wanted to lose it more.
Yeah, Burnley wanted to lose it more. Yeah, I mean, it was, like you say, it was literally like watching Everton against Everton, because like the constant mistakes at the back, leading to opportunities, which is, our forte, isn't it?
Yeah. So, did you watch the other results as well and what happened?
Yeah, obviously Luton
Luton
won.
scored. Yeah.
They were winning 2-1 and they were getting beat 1-0. But you know what? It's like we won. It's immaterial what they did. Obviously, we'd like them to have drawn or lost, but it's not the end of the world, you know.
No, not at all. And the other thing to think, Wes, is that we have now up to 15th because of the Brentford draw against Villa. We've now jumped them in the table. So although it's kind of immaterial, points matter more than position. There's some comfort right now for all of us. Maybe the dawn is finally happening. You could see like the bright lights in everyone's faces. It's sunny in Liverpool. There's like a change of the guard, a change of feeling right now with nice weather, comfort it being in 15th again, although that's such a sad thing to say, comfort in 15th, but not looking at our back, behind our back as much. There's just one win. We knew we needed this today and we just got it.
Yeah, I mean, the pressure's eased for this week. That's it. You know, we've still got Chelsea next week, which is kind of a free hit for us. And it's you know, you could feel the anxiety, the crowd, and like I said in the pre-match with Robbie that I just hope like after 30 minutes the crowd don't start getting all, you know, angsty and you know, anxious and stuff like that. And that's exactly what happened. Like there was you know, the usual Everton, there was some straight passes and you know, like the wrong balls being played and stuff like that. And then as soon as that happens, then the crowd start getting anxious and that, you know, like it works on the players. It's you know, you're like, we need to stick with them. It's as simple as that.
So I'm not sure how you felt about this, but there were times in this match that Everton were like afraid to go forward, and then they would go forward and just give the ball away so sloppy. And Pickford did more passing than anyone else on the pitch today, didn't he?
Bad passing. Let's get that right. Bad passing.
I didn't say it was good. He just did the most passing.
He made one good pass in that whole game to Coleman in behind the Burnley defender. But his distribution is shocking. It is really shocking. And you know, people say that his distribution is good. I don't know where they see that from, because
it wasn't
I know
today.
I know the wind played the part and stuff like that, but we had the wind against us the first half, and that ball was getting held up, and there was too many like overhit crosses and stuff like that. And when the wind's against you, that should never happen.
Yeah,
like if the wind's you know, for you, then yeah, you can understand, you know, passes being overplayed and stuff like that. But
in the first half, you said the wind was with us in the first half, right? Or against us?
No, the wind was against us in the first half.
So you overhit in the first half with top spin, so it drops. Then in the second half, you underhit it with backspin, so it doesn't go too far, right? It's not just going to kind of bounce too far over, because there were a lot of overhit ones. But I guess the question was, because we were playing it safe and we'd rather not you give the ball away at higher areas, but you know you're giving the ball away. That was part of what we accepted, or Everton decided to do, was let's not give the ball away in stupid areas the way Burnley did. We turned over the ball, couldn't do a lot with it, a lot in their defensive half. Although McNeil wasn't excellent today, you have to give him credit for chasing. He led to O'Shea being taken off. DCL did a lot of chasing and did enough to get that goal. So it's not from a skill set. It's the effort that they have to deserve credit for, because we can say they seem to lack heart and drive. They showed it today, even if they proved that they were not skillful enough to score. The effort,
they showed it for like the press for the first 15 minutes was excellent. You know what I mean? But then it disappeared. It was kind of like a half-hearted press after that. And like you say, McNeil running his legs off at the end there, fair play to him. I wish we had another 10 play or 9 outfield players that was doing the same thing at that time in the game. Like Beto, come on, looked like he was knackered.
Yeah, it was weird, wasn't it? He kept falling over, but it was like I'm not sure if you listened to my watch along when I was describing this earlier. He would run, then he would slow down, then someone would touch his shirt. He would, like Lukaku, not be knocked over. Then he would dive. I was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
trying to get penalties.
I mean, for me, that wasn't a free kick. I don't think the penalty shout on Ghana was a penalty either.
No.
So people are saying that we should have had a penalty at the end of it. I don't think there was enough contact, and I think he was looking to go down. But at least he was getting into the box at that point in the game. You know what I mean? Which normally we've just sat back. But then you look at the nervousness of the whole team at the end when you've got Coleman putting it out for a last second corner. You know what I mean? And all he had to do, they only needed to give him a shout, and he was going out for a goal kick.
He said he couldn't hear, but I could imagine it would be too. I don't know. I couldn't tell the volume because I was talking here, but if it is loud in the last minute, Coleman is playing it safe. It might seem nervy, but could you imagine if he didn't and then they scored because he didn't take that he took a risk, So I get it, but it still looked nervy.
But there's no pace in the team, Chris. Absolutely no pace whatsoever. And the only player today that was willing to put his foot on the ball and look up and make a pass was Andre Gomez. But once again, and you know what? For somebody who's just come in for his first start in a long time, and he was also getting back and playing that CDM role as well as trying to be a creator, which I thought speaks volumes for him as a human being and as a football player, because he could have wrapped his hand in and just gone, probably at the end of this season I'm probably leaving anyway. So he definitely made a few good passes and got picked, like Ashley Young in behind a couple of times. Just that the lack of like crossing ability and getting players into the box that let us down at the time.
Yeah, and I think you're exactly right. Andre Gomez was really key for us because so many players kept giving the ball away, and Gomez was not that player. He doesn't have the leg speed that everyone else does, but he was calm. He took his time. He provided throw-in options instead of just making us go backwards. So he was one of the only players on the pitch for either team that seemed to hold possession, be composed in that position, a bit like Dele Alli against Palace a couple years back, where like we needed someone. It's a little bit of an exaggeration to say a savior mentality, but we needed a win. We had composure with an experienced head that get paid a lot of money to not play very often, and he did what we pay him to do, which is rare. And I think for me, he would be. No one was outstanding, but he's probably in the consideration for man of the match with DCL because he scored, or maybe McNeil.
Yeah, I mean DCL probably had the best game he's had all season today. He was willing to get stuck in there, and but for me personally, I thought Branthwaite was outstanding again.
Yeah, he was good too. And a few people have said they would put Branthwaite in. He had a lot of really good recovery sliding tackles today.
Yeah. But that's kind of like that's the thing that you don't want to see from your defenders is last ditch defending.
Right, and that's where if someone has to do a last ditch tackle, it looks good, but then the question is, do you celebrate that as being excellent, or it's a good thing you did an excellent slide to recover? But he was quite solid and comfortable on the ball. But again, did you notice as well how often we talk about Branthwaite being a good passer of the ball, and he was often really afraid to pass the ball through the middle, and he's been a big culprit of the long ball game recently, and the ball's back to Pickford. So I'm not sure what happened, as Dyche told him not. He supposedly doesn't teach him anything at training. Remember, I just let him go. So why is he doing long balls or passing back to Pickford when he's good enough to pass through the middle?
Yeah,
it's not a bad performance, but that's something I ask.
But that's the whole confidence thing, isn't it? When players are full of confidence, they want to go forward. And like James Garner today didn't do a lot with the ball, but he done a lot of running and tracking without the ball. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, but I think when he came on against Newcastle, he was more effective because he was told to obviously attack the spaces and stuff like that. But today he was because of Nana and Ghana Gay was out, he had to kind of sit in that position with Gomez getting back as well. So I can't really slag the lad off for not producing anything because that's not it's not his game really to be a CDM. You know what I mean? But he's done it all right. So yeah, he's not going to get ripped from me this week. But he's been ineffective the last few weeks, apart from the Newcastle game, obviously.
Yeah, well, a big part today, and I think you're hitting on this. Were we good enough on the ball? Were we really dangerous going forward? No, we looked dangerous, but we didn't really convert enough. So James Garner, when we don't have Garner Gay or Onana in, it's actually all about how well he can position himself to be the workhorse to shut down passing lanes because Garner Gay isn't there. So he had to kind of be the energy that Garner Gay would have in that midfield without the defensive prowess to do it. So it's just a workhorse performance or a 6 out of 10 type of deal.
But I've got to be honest. I mean, even though we got the 3 points today here, Andy Harrison has put a comment about Dice Love and hoofball. And it's kind of like with that win today, back in the UK, it's like you playing hoofball, like it doesn't really, like we didn't create anything from that.
Nope.
From the hoofball. Do you know what I mean? Like obviously the goal was down to Calvert-Lewin and the goalkeeper being just dozy. Do you know what I mean? And Calvert-Lewin's like seeing an opportunity, closed the keeper down. And it was a lot like Darwin Nunez's goal the other day against Sheffield United, weren't it? You know what I mean? Closed the keeper down, keeper made a massive howler. And fortunate enough for us. I mean, it's about time we got a little slice of luck like that, isn't it?
Yeah. We got one penalty. We've got a couple penalties recently. We haven't had the rub of the green with like fluke stuff. I think what was it? Peter talking about flukiness. So I'll take it when we get it. But yeah, the one that this reminded me of, and I think I said it live. Do you remember when I think Arsenal were playing Brentford? So they couldn't have David Raya. So then all of a sudden Ramsdale came back.
Oh, yeah.
He did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't hear the noise. And it's like, maybe you should hear for the shout.
Yeah. Maybe you should see or see the player coming towards you and get rid of it.
Yeah.
You don't need to hear the noise.
What do I do? Yeah. Because what was really interesting, and I'm not sure if you saw that in the replays, they show the keeper and he had this really obvious passing lanes and he just waited too long. If someone's coming from like a weird angle and you're running and you can't see behind yourself, that's more defensible. This was a terrible mistake, worse than Ramsdale's. And that says a lot because Ramsdale deserves to be given flack for what he did.
Yeah.
The
thing is, like, DCL was probably a good 10 yards away from him. Yeah. And then like, because he dilly-dallied on the ball, Calvert-Lewin thought, I'm going to close him down here. And he still like didn't get rid of it. And before you know it, Calvert-Lewin's got his foot out and it's his foot and gone in the back of the net. And you think, that's basic goalkeeper, that, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's hardly even championship.
Oh, it's shocking. It really is shocking, but we'll take it all day.
Yeah.
Because, like I say, we very, very rarely get them slices of luck. So when we do get them, we'll celebrate them. Do you know what I mean?
And I don't know if you remember the goalkeeper that they had previously earlier in the season. It was a different keeper.
Stafford, yeah.
So that keeper was a lot better by foot, but could not handle the ball in the air and got out-muscled a lot. So, and then we scored from set pieces. And now they've gone to the more experienced goalkeeper who's probably not very capable by foot and forcing him into. So it's like basically David Raya versus Ramsdale again. Like, are you good by foot or not? Are you bigger in the air? And they chose someone who can win set plays and is a bit bigger and more physical, but can't pass to save himself. But they forced him to pass out from the back, which just seems foolish.
Yeah, it's. I think, like you say, we beat them 3 times this season, and we're shit, and we beat them 3 times. Do you know what I mean?
Well, Sean Dyche knows how to Sean Dyche a team.
Yeah, like I mean, it wasn't beautiful football what we'd all love to see, and it was typical Dyche ball, but it was a grind. It was well fought and ground out. You know what I mean? And that's what we need for the rest of the season. I will take them type of performances week in, week out until the end of the season if we get 1-0 wins every game.
Yeah, or it's a results-driven business, as they said in the Sunderland "Till I Die" when they fired managers. And if you don't win, you don't stay up. And good evening to Mr. Toffees.
Evening, Mr. Toffees.
And
big win today.
Yeah,
well, not a great win, but a win.
Okay, 3 points is big no matter what the deficit. The other thing that the Blues brought up, I think we played Burnley twice in a pretty short period there, and potentially they had Muric come on in the cup match. But when I watched a replay a week ago where Everton beat Burnley, I remember it was the other keeper getting beat on the corner that Onana scored on. And that's the same day that Michael Keane scored a goal.
Yeah. Like I say, they are where they are because they're not good. They're really not good. Like they could have scored against us today because I said it before in the pre-match with Robbie that we'll end up surrendering most of the possession to them.
Yep.
Because they do play football, but like us, they can't score goals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They get themselves into positions, but they don't. They can't score goals. And but if they'd have equalised, our ass would have gone. Especially with them having 10 men, our ass would have gone.
Yeah, it would have. So possession quickly. I'll go through some of the high level statistics. Ball possession. Burnley at 63%, and Everton had their sweet spot just over a third of the ball, 37%. On XG, Everton had 0.83, Burnley had 0.448 or 0.6. So really, they can look more dangerous in a way, but their best chance actually was the guy with the kind of, what do you call it, kind of top knot dreads, the right back, Assignon.
Oh yeah,
where he basically had all the opportunity in the world to have a strike and equalize, but he kicked it onto his left foot and just spun out of play. And you're like, if they were any good, they would have scored against us today on the chances they had, because their crossing was terrible. Cullen, their captain, overhit everything.
Yeah, but like I say, you factor in the wind, and that is kind of what's to be expected from bang average players, really. The top players will take a bit off it, and they'll adjust to the wind. But we haven't got top players. Burnley haven't got top players, so it was a poor spectacle all in all.
Oh, it was terrible. But my prediction pre-match was that it would be very much like playing Bournemouth last year.
Yeah,
and it felt very, very much like that. Just nerves. And you just need that one moment. So
thanks very much, Mr. Toffees.
Yeah, really appreciate
much appreciated.
That.
Yeah, much appreciated. But you know what though, Chris, right? What's done my head in about it, right? Is like Sean Dyche loved to harp on about XG, right? Loved to harp. Now, don't get me wrong, you'll know more about XG than me because I'm just not into all these stats and whatnot.
Right.
The only stat that counts to me is the score in the top left-hand corner of the screen. Like, it doesn't matter how many touches like you've had in the opposition box or how much possession you've had, or how many corners you've had, or how much XG there is. At the end of the day, the only stat that matters is the scoreline.
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Yeah.
But how have we gone from being one of the highest XG teams to being like probably one of the lowest now?
Yeah. So from my understanding of XG, and clearly I have a PhD in statistics to tell you all of this, right? I don't.
Obviously.
But XG is meant to be, it doesn't mean you score. It's the likelihood of a scoring possibility happening. So really then, it's if someone is able to shoot from a goal scoring location, what is the likelihood, or how good are those goal scoring opportunities? But what it also does is it doesn't factor in blocks. So if you shoot and it's blocked, it counts it because it's still a goal scoring opportunity. So you can very falsely exaggerate how good your goal scoring chances are. And the best strikers have low XG and lots of goals. Like Harry Kane, for example, scores a lot of goals and doesn't have high XG because he can score from in areas that others don't need to. Like,
I get you.
So the best chance I think that and that was like the only good save that I can think of, was when DCL was in on goal in that second half.
He had 2 chances.
Was it 2 chances? It's been an eventful 2 hours and now I'm forgetting.
Yeah, he had 2 chances and the keeper saved both.
Yeah.
But it was both from tight angles, and that one that he got through, there was literally, like, if there was a bit of support there for him. This is the thing, right? Is that when Calvert-Lewin gets the ball, there's nobody busting the gut to get into that space, to just tap it in. The good teams, if your strikers getting the ball, they're gambling. They're gambling that he's going to get that, and you're going to make space for yourself. But there was nobody, not a single player within the screen. And I've got a 55 million inch TV here in Qatar. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Qatar can afford the widest screen television in the entire world, and you still don't see a second
Everton player.
And that is true. I think Decore, a lot of today, he seemed like he read the game wrong, where he would be trying to be around DCL and be in the wrong spot, expect a cutback when it was a cross, and things like that. The other thing that I thought was quite weird, and maybe recall this too, especially at the beginning, McNeil was actually making some excellent crosses, finding the space in the back post, and no Everton players were there. And I know Wormy was talking about the predictability of always going to the back post, and then you would actually go to the back post, you'd have space to win a header, and no one was there, and you go, "What's going on like the setup here?" It was really odd to me.
Is like, does that goal, is that counted as a goal from open play?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, it was from open play.
Just nearly scored. Well, yeah and no, because the goalkeeper had it.
Yeah, but I guess you're trying to reinvent football now. You have a goal kick, you kick it out from the back, and it gets deflected. It's not. That's the other thing to think about. Okay,
it's not how many? Like the Blues says it's not a set piece. I know it's not a set piece. Clearly not a set piece because the goalie has it.
But it's goalkeeper related.
We didn't like create that opportunity. As footballing wise, it came from a mistake from the goalie. So is it classed as open play?
I think it has to be, even if I get your point, because you're really saying you have every time you build up from the back and you make a mistake, it's the same type of goal. But it's not. And I guess the other question, how long into a corner? So someone, like, let's say the goal that Ake scored against, that Holland scored against Everton, where someone, I think they tried to clear it. It goes off Ake's ankle, spins to Holland, and he scores. And then it's a set piece. How long into the set piece is it a set piece goal versus open play? I'm not sure that one either. And there's sometimes some gray on these, on what's what to me.
It doesn't matter. We'll take it.
Yep.
We'll take it, mate, either way. You know what I mean? But not a vintage performance, but you know what? I couldn't give a shit, to be honest. I really couldn't.
Well, this is a vintage performance. You know why? Every time we win, it's 1-0. And if they score a goal at Goodison, we don't win a match since Dyche basically came in, right?
Yeah.
If they score at Goodison, Dyche doesn't win. So this was a vintage 1-0 Everton win in some ways. And it's also, we weren't good enough, but we got it across the line. Also very vintage. Not sure, vintage Everton, no. My vintage Everton is 2012, 2013, Baines, Osman, Pienaar movement. But we don't have that right now. The new Everton that we really want to break away from and we expect more, but we're stuck with it financially and Dyche in charge, is these squeeze out 1-0 victories. The only way we seem to get points.
And you know, I'm sure every Evertonian out there would settle for that. For at least the games that we've got at home. Do you know what I mean? You know, the Forests and the Brentfords and Sheffield United. If we get scrappy 1-0 wins for each of them, then we stay up, regardless of what the independent commission decide to do with us. If we get maximum points out of them home games now, we're staying up regardless, because they're not going to give us another 10-point deduction. They might try, but then there'd be absolutely like thousands upon thousands of Evertonians storming down to London to get Richard Masters into headlock.
What we need is all the Scouser Karens to go down to the Premier League and say, I have a complaint against the manager, against the chairman.
Yeah, definitely. But it's more of a relief, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's just like we've waited 14 games for them 3 points. 14 games. And you're like, why have we waited that long? But do you know what? It's like, it's not going to get any easier, because these must-win games are coming thick and fast, and that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah. So you know what I mean? Everton, so we have Chelsea next weekend or next Monday. Yeah. Then we have Forest.
Yeah.
Then we have that midweek match against Liverpool. Then we're at home to Brentford, away to Luton, home to Sheffield, and then, we're not winning against Arsenal away to end the season. But we better have it wrapped up.
But then, if we're out of it by then, nobody cares, do they? Like, we could get absolutely snotted 10-0 last game of the season, and nobody's going to give a shit about that as long as we're safe.
Yeah. So I'll bring up a point that Jeremy Lamb mentioned here, and curious to get your view on it. So performance was poor. Anyone notice, though, we won and Godfrey wasn't on the pitch? Last time we won, Godfrey wasn't on the pitch.
So what? Jeremy, I kind of, it's a good stat to say. Obviously, I'm not a person for stats and whatnot, but obviously Seamus with his his legs and his age and stuff like that, and he clearly doesn't either like Patterson or rate Patterson or trust Patterson. So Godfrey was a makeshift right back, and he done all right for a couple of games, but I don't like when you've got two right backs sitting on your bench. It doesn't make sense to play a makeshift right back, does it?
Yeah, and is Godfrey? We noticed pretty quickly Coleman does little things, tries to find through balls and play the ball forward. And Godfrey doesn't have that subtlety or flick, flicks a foot out, finds a way to megs a player and goes to Ashley Young on the right side. The Coleman has more awareness there. It's just a matter of if someone was really pacey on the left side for Burnley, and the guy wasn't really, he wasn't slow, but he wasn't really pacey. Any fast player and Coleman has to win the tackle or he's out of the game. Godfrey can recover because
that's all you rely on, though, is his pace. I mean, that's all he's good for, really, is his pace. He doesn't really offer a lot going forward, and he's kind of like shit Kyle Walker, isn't he? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I guess
like
yeah.
Mr. Toffee says there, Godfrey's plays out of position, but he's a shit centre half. He can't head the ball.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you know he's probably never ever likely to play centre half.
yeah. So I find Godfrey, like a lot of the Everton defensive line, when they're doing the hoof ball or someone's hoofing it to us, he wins the ball on the halfway line a lot. The problem is on a true set play, a corner kick, a free kick. Is he in position? Can he adjust to the moving variables when it gets more complicated as a centre half? No, I think that's where he struggles. But he can win headers, just not the headers in the right spot part in the field you need him to.
You know what though? Gary McNamara's got a good comment there. Like, would he be a better option than Ashley Old playing right mid?
Right midfield?
Yeah. Because surely, he's got the pace to get back. And he's got pace to get forward. So would he be a better option than Ashley Old?
So I think maybe. What I think, like, although Ashley Young, we know he's not what he used to be. He generally knows where to position himself on the wing. He just doesn't have the skill to do it anymore. He would get stuck in his own head on when to release the ball and was giving it away, but he was in the right positions a lot. He just didn't know what to do with it. I don't know if Godfrey would know how to be in the right position. The other thought, though, maybe we play on what you just said. Maybe we put Coleman as the right midfielder, play him a little bit up because he knows how to be in those advanced positions, can cross the ball okay, knows how to do a pass, and we play Godfrey further back. That's the other.
Yeah. Yeah, but who was it there? Dave Mack said Patterson will be better right mid instead of Godfrey. Everybody's got their opinion. Do you know what I mean? I just think, like, with his pace, and his defensive sort of like mindset is that he could be a better option for bringing pace into the team than Ashley Old, because like he gets down the wing, but he can't beat a man anymore. Ashley Young, you know what I mean? So
yeah. So let's say on midweek, if Gordon was playing, Anthony Gordon, you play Russian roulette that Coleman will win the first tackle, or you decide Godfrey can at least keep up with Anthony Gordon. But those are the scenarios where you can't. It's risky to have Coleman, but I think he handled it today. The guy, the player that made both Taki and Coleman look uncomfortable, his name was Odebear, I think, number 47, where Taki had to do some wipeout tackles in just before halftime. Got a yellow.
He's their best player. He's their best player.
I thought the player that stood out to me the most. Let me find his name again.
No, I think in their team, I'd say Odebear is not today, but in their team, he's probably their best player.
So the one that I thought looked the most dangerous for them today was Lyle Foster. He was the right midfielder.
The black lad. Yeah.
There's a few on the
He got taken off, didn't he? Got subbed.
No. So there's a few. So Odebear. Okay. So on the right wing,
Odebear got subbed. I'm sure Foster got subbed as well, didn't he? When he went down to 10.
They did. I'm looking at the subs now. They didn't. So Fofana and Odeberg played up front as a pair. Foster was the right midfielder.
Right.
And Odeberg and Foster would kind of alternate a lot. And Odeberg got subbed off. And then he was really poor. The guy with the giant, what do you call it? Sort of dreads, but like top knot was Lorenz Assignon. He would come up from the back as well. But Lyle Foster's the one that made Branthwaite really uncomfortable a few times at the beginning. And that's when he said he got into the match, is once Foster wasn't running right at him. So Foster looked more dangerous. And I think Ryan said this on the chat. Would we have Lyle Foster or Bryn Larson if they get relegated? Oh, we got probably no indice.
No.
For free.
I wouldn't say transfer. Like if that Odebear was available, I'd probably take him out of that Burnley team, because they're absolutely garbage, to be honest. They are. They're poor.
Yeah. Charlie Taylor wasn't that good either, was he? You
No,
feel like he'd be a progressive fullback, but he was pretty poor for them
and I'm
from the
sure
left
he
back.
scored the winner against us at Burnley last season, didn't he? That Charlie Taylor. Was it
That
last
rings a
season or the
bell.
season? Last season or the season before?
Oh, that was
When Dice came out and said these don't know
yeah,
how to
we
win a
know how to
game.
win. So I was not there. I didn't watch that match. It was the week I was getting married, so I wasn't able to follow along at that time too much. But yeah, that was probably
Yeah.
around that time that Burnley. That's when like Iwobi had that terrible pass in the middle, and they scored late, and everyone was raging against Iwobi for possession. But I just forget who scored. It's been a while.
The thing is, as well, is that company that he took Fofana off. He definitely took Fofana off, didn't he? And he's
Yeah.
like their joint leading goal scorer with 4 goals.
Well, yeah, everyone for that team was a joint goal scorer with 4 goals. Let me quickly pull this up, and I'll show you quickly. Oh, did I get rid of it? Where are we?
Why is Ashley Old started the last 3 games? He's dreadful. Do you know what? As TJ Mid said it before on the pre-match, I don't think Ashley Young done that bad against Newcastle. I don't think he was like woeful. I thought he maybe deserves another start today, but he probably won't start again against Chelsea because I don't think he's going to play him so regular for for that many games now. I think it's just a case of having to, isn't it?
Yeah. So I want to quickly bring this up to show this is like the top 10 goal scorers of both teams. So Fofana, Amdouni, Foster, and Larson all had 4 goals. So no one was outrageously good, but they had a slightly better distribution of goals than what we have because we had Takura that couldn't score to save himself recently.
Yeah.
DCL scored, so he's on 5. But we have they have a better distribution, but it's still terrible to only have 4 goals at this part of the season.
Yeah. I
As the
mean,
lead striker.
we might see in an upturn in Decore performance after Ramadan's finished. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like you seen him today. He had a drink when he had a break and play, but he didn't have a drink. He didn't have a drink. He just wet his lips, which they're allowed to do. But yeah, so if you're running around for night, and don't forget he's meant to be our box to box midfielder, and he's putting some yards in, and he's not hydrating himself at the same time.
And he's injured, and he's trying to recover from those muscle injuries with that knee and everything else you've heard about, and he can't hydrate properly. That must be terrible.
Yeah, it must be hard work for him. But Monday, I think Ramadan finishes, so maybe against Chelsea, he might get on the scoring trail again after when we play Chelsea.
Yeah, that'll be exciting.
We need to get more goals from the whole team. Simple as that. Like we shouldn't be getting to the point now where we're relying on DCL scoring the goals for us to get us out of shit.
Yes, we shouldn't be relying, but that's where we're at. So
it's too much pressure. It's too much pressure for him. I know he hasn't been putting in the performances in the last 24 games or whatever, 23 games until today, where I thought he led the line well today.
Yeah. And what did you notice this as well? And I think the last few matches he's done it a lot. He actually looks quite comfortable going to the right wing and working that channel. So there is a potential if we say, how do we play them together? I honestly think DCL could be a right winger at times if we needed it.
Yeah, but then you lack that presence up front because nobody bursts into the box.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. I'll challenge, but I generally agree. Beto bursts his way into the box, but he'll also not do it correctly. Because we created a few chances, and I think I did it on my tactical review. There was that really early on against Newcastle, where we had Pickford actually did a really well weighted crossfield pass to McNeil, and McNeil gets it, and he's running, and then because Beto is charging the front line, it pulls all the defenders, and then there's a cut back to Decore. So Beto will go into those positions, but I just don't trust him to pull it off the time. I just think he's going to give it away or do a really bad fake dive.
Yeah. The Corey, like, he never seems to have the ball under control, does he? Never ever seems to have the ball under control. It always seems to be stuck under his feet. And Beto's a bit like the same, but Beto's like, he's one of these players that he needs balls threading through the middle for him so he can run onto them. But so what? I like when he first came into Everton, I thought he had a lot of pace, Beto, but he doesn't seem like, watching him today. I just thought he's either absolutely shattered or he never had any pace in the first place.
Yeah, and it seems that he doesn't have acceleration pace, but like he's really fast at going from third to fifth gear, but not first to third gear in driving terms. So, but he has to get going. And what I found, I don't know if you thought this too, maybe when he's running at full speed, he lacks the composure on the ball. So he has to slow down and then he looks slower. Because the one where he has that penalty shot, he seemed to outpace someone and then just went slower and they caught up to him. So he must be making some decision of why to be slower.
It's in that split second, isn't it? It's like you've got clear of the defender. Like, just keep going and slot it under the keeper. It's as simple as that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like you say, he just sort of like, it seemed like he needed like a millisecond to sort of like get control of the ball and set himself to take a shot instead of just going boom underneath the keeper. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
Giving the defender the opportunity to get back.
Yeah. And then on the opposite side, you have like McNeil, who's kind of like a 2001 Toyota Corolla. He'll steadily go at like 50 miles an hour, but he can't go 55 or 45.
No.
And you can rely on him to hold the ball at that speed. And that's why McNeil is okay for his speed, is because he seems to not slow down running at that pace. The problem is everyone catches up to him. Then he has to figure out to pass it off to DCL like he tried to do a few times and it didn't work.
But you know what? It's Everton, like like obviously Brighton went down to 10 men, right? Burnley gone down. They're the only team what look worse against 10 men.
Yeah. Well, okay. Everton and Chelsea both struggle to win at home. And guess who else was down to 10 men and equalized against Chelsea? It was Burnley away like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So they went down to 10 men and found a way to score away at Chelsea. So I was really worried they were going to do the same to us today after we let Brighton back in. Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like, it's shit or bust, isn't it? That's the thinking. It's like Company brought on attacking players, like a 1-0 down, which is obvious. You know, they're going for it.
Yeah.
But we didn't really react to that until like 82nd minute, and this is the Dyche keeps on throwing himself under the bus with these subs constantly. You're like, get some fresh legs on. People are saying, you know, it's either, you know, a leggy Seamus Coleman or somebody who doesn't trust off the bench. But it's not just that. It's, you know, the energy level. You bring him energy back into the team.
Yeah. And I think I mentioned you had that comment while we were going live throughout the match. What's tricky though, like what subs would you have brought on? Either because you're worried about like Godfrey for Coleman, Beto for DCL. Like we didn't have the subs that would say we're more secure by subbing someone on. I think you kind of roll you shake the magic 8 ball and see what happens if you put Beto on the field on a match like this. Warrington was the only central midfielder available. Or do you put on Godfrey or Michael Keane? Like I would rather, and everyone's got their own view on it, but I was kind of worried if we changed the defensive lineup, even if we looked tired, because I thought Ben Godfrey, like unlike Coleman, who can come in and be ready, you have a liability, in my view, of putting Godfrey in if he's not like in the match already. At that point
Patterson was on the bench though, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, the Patterson feels like it's a throwaway option on the bench based on Dyche doesn't trust him or his confidence is out.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think I would have put Patterson in for Ashley Young. Would have been the one for me.
But yeah, possibly. You know what I mean? But he had Jack Harrison on the bench. So
Yeah.
you're swapping a genuine winger for a kind of like right back stroke left back stroke right winger stroke left winger. Do you know what I mean? And you know, he's obviously younger and he's been sitting on the bench for pretty much 2 games, so his energy level should be all right. But like Coleman was like flapping at the end because he was probably tired, and Patterson might have been an option to bring on and just to freshen things up a bit. But like I said to Robbie, you know, it was difficult conditions playing in that wind today. You know, playing against the winds.
Yeah.
In the first half, playing with the wind in the second half, chasing balls and stuff like that. And it sapped your energy. And you've got Decore, who played 90 minutes, who's obviously fasting, and you get some fresh legs on earlier than 82 minutes, just to re-energize the team.
Yeah. Yeah, I think in the midfield that certainly works. I know, because if we had Garnegay and Onana, I could have imagined Dyche would have been comfortable. But then it's like, okay, we have wingers. Let's put a different winger on. Really was the inroad there, or just take Decore off and give Warrington a go.
Possibly, but like I don't know, like he could have like shored things up a bit more, like.
Or maybe go 5 at the back.
Yeah, like was Michael Keane on the bench?
Yeah, Keane was as well.
Yeah, so he could have brought Keane on, even though, you know, we're not all a great lover of Michael Keane. Would have sort of like, you know, shored things up, and like Dave Mack just said, Chimiti instead of Beto maybe.
Yeah. So these were the benches, by the way. So we had Patterson.
He could have even took Decore off and maybe played Beto in that false 9 and played Chimiti up front, just to add a bit more energy into the team.
Yeah, so I just popped that up. We had 2 keepers again on in Virginia and Lonergan as the options. So Lonergan was never coming on the pitch, so it's a waste of space. Virginia's our backup. He had Patterson, Keane, Godfrey, Harrison, Beto, Chimiti. So he had 2 strikers occupying the 1 striker position. You had 1 winger for the 2 wings. Warrington, I think, is a central midfielder, right? So he was the one option that Dyche was not going to trust bringing on. And then you have Patterson, who is a winger but a fullback, and 2 centre halves that are more liabilities than Branthwaite or Tarkovsky, unless you went to 5 at the back.
Yeah, but there were still options there. You know, we like against Newcastle, we had better options on the bench. Obviously, Onana, people are saying he spat his dummy out because he got subbed off last week, but the manager's saying he had an injury, and you don't know who to believe. But Garnegay, apparently his missus spat out a baby last night or something. So that's probably his 20th kid or something. Now he's probably knackered, and he's a lad.
Yeah. Oh, you talk about what must be difficult. Imagine being Ramadan, having a kid. That must be quite a sacrifice. Ugh.
But like I say, I think it finishes on the 9th of April, which is Monday, is it? So
that sounds right. Well, today's the 6th, right? So that's maybe Tuesday, 7th. No, so if tomorrow's the 7th, which would be Sunday, the 9th would be
Tuesday. Yeah, so then they'll have a big party and get loads of scran in them, and loads of drink and whatnot. You know, water, not beer,
Yeah, but anyway, I think
Gaza Cambo Bluecoats at DCL about 50 goals this season on his FIFA. I wish it was FIFA, mate. You know what I mean? Because he's got, what, 52 goals now for Everton, Premier League goals.
Yeah. Well, the best player in FIFA is always Damari Gray because you can't quantify someone's like their headspace of a player, just their potential. So Damari Gray it was excellent, but he just couldn't put it together. I guess we'll probably wrap up here in a couple of minutes, but
Yeah.
what did you think of Mikalenko last week, since coming back?
I think Tuesday against Newcastle, he was very, very ropey the first half, and then sort of grew into the game. Obviously, he had that header off the line. Today, I think he was a bit shaky as well. Like in the first half, I think that Foster was getting the better of him a lot of the time. But the thing is like, obviously Seamus now at his age, he doesn't offer nothing going forward, like obviously when he used to in his prime. And Mikalenko doesn't offer nothing going forward. But is that down to the manager's tactics?
Yeah, and what's weird and what I found, I also noticed he looked ropey in the first half against both wingers. It was what was his name? Murphy, I think it was Jacob Murphy against Newcastle, and then a combination of Odeberg and a few others today on that side. But I am noticing he is taking more risks going forward again, instead of being. And I remember against, I think it was Brighton and Bournemouth, he was afraid to cross the ball. He is making runs now and crossing the ball first time. So it's either a confidence thing, Dyche is letting him go forward again, but it's not all the time, as we know. But it's partly like, if you're doing hoofball, why would a fullback run forward?
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is like, it's basic football. When if you've got two fullbacks who bomb forward, then that stops the other fullbacks from bombing forward.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? So, but because Everton's fullbacks don't really bomb forward, it's like it gives carte blanche for the opposition's forwards to bomb forward, wingers to bomb forward, and fullbacks to bomb forward.
They don't have to. If a winger doesn't have to defend, they don't want to defend. They want to score goals. They'll just stay high up the pitch.
Do you want to let Peter know what happened?
So we're not exactly sure what happened, Peter, but StreamYard seems to have lost a lot of the preparation posts that we had. So instead of doing the post match as planned, we continued on this one because the link was live. So there was some technical difficulties at backstage on the streaming service that we couldn't figure out on the fly, so we went this way.
Yeah, we've adapted and overcame. So this is the post match, Peter, and Paul Chris has been on for 3 hours and 15 minutes. He's had 50 million views, and that's just in the UK. I dread to think what he's getting, around the globe.
Yeah, the Asia and Australia should all be asleep by now, I think.
Yeah, well, they'll all tune in though. Once it's being recorded, and you're getting 50 million views now while we're live. So once people sort of like tune in, once they get up out of beds and stuff, then we could go astronomical.
That is the goal. And the other thing, I know you've talked about it, Wes, but for those that are on the joining us now live, thank you. And the other thing we have been doing, and Wes, Brian wants to go along with this, but I've started doing video annotations of matches now. But unfortunately, not unfortunately, but just a reality of having high quality software, that does cost a little bit to do long term. So we're looking at options for it. But to do that, to provide the funding for that, in addition to having the high quality stream and keeping the website afloat, anyone that's interested in donating to the content that we're providing, you can access and be a Follow Everton member through the YouTube channel, which is through that link there. So off your laptop, go to Follow Everton /membership, And
I'm curious to where Gaza is. Where in the world are you, Gaza?
that seems like a Perth time zone. Let me check.
What time is it now? So it's only 4 hours ahead.
Oh, it's so he's 1 hour further west than Perth, Australia. So that sounds like maybe Cambodia. Cambo? That might be Cambodia.
Thailand, maybe.
Yeah, Thailand, Cambodia area. So it'll be a little bit west of West Australia.
Peter Brown, Arsenal won up at Brighton. Penalty. Yeah, it means absolutely nothing to us. Absolutely nothing.
Oh yeah, cool. So my Phnom Penh, Cambodia.
Hey, Jesus Christ, like that Alan Wicker, you mate.
I just hear
You
the
probably
word
don't know
Cambo
who he
and I
is.
know what
He was Australian, weren't he, Alan Wicker? Before your time.
Probably. Well, this does actually happen being Australian in the US. I'll go somewhere and it's like, do you know Stephen? And you're like, why? He's Australian. It's like there's 14 million people.
So yeah, so isn't that where the Killing Fields was filmed about? The movie, The Killing Fields.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure Gaza can loop us in.
Phnom Penh. I'm sure that was it. That's with the thing, you know, with all the skulls in it. Like like a museum or something with all the skulls.
Yeah, my geography is failing me right now, but that does sound plausible.
I think it might be. Yeah, there was like mass genocide there, wasn't he?
Yeah. So
Killing Field, Phnom Penh.
Wes has certainly done some amazing travel through his previous employment. Gotten to see lots of places.
I got really drunk in all of them. Like really, really drunk. Like not just drunk, comatose drunk. Like there was one time went to Bangkok and I was staying in this hotel called the Imperial Hotel.
And
I was out with all the boys till about 6 or 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I got in a taxi. I got in one taxi, said to the Thai fella, Imperial Hotel, please, mate. And after about 10 minutes, he didn't have a clue where he was going. Right. So I got out of that taxi and never paid him. Got into another taxi, said to him, Imperial Hotel, please, mate. And he was on his way, didn't know where he was going, jumped out of that, didn't pay him. Anyway, to cut a long story short, eventually got in a taxi. I said, take me to the Bangkok port, because that's where the ship was.
The ship was, yeah.
Yeah, that's where the ship is. And I thought, there's taxis there by the ship, and they'll know where Imperial Hotel is. So gets in this taxi, and we're going along, and he pulls up outside the Bangkok Post, the newspaper. So the next minute, I'm absolutely smashed off my face, by the way.
Yeah.
And the next minute, this security guy comes out, and he goes, where do you want to go? I went, Bangkok Port. And he went, you wait 1 minute. Next minute, this moped comes along. Right? I'm on the back of this moped, hanging off the back of this moped at like 7 o'clock in the morning, absolutely smashed off my face in all these potholes going through the back streets of Bangkok. And he got me back to the ship. Fair play to him, you know what I mean? But like, it was an adventure within an adventure.
That would make for an amazing piece of artwork. If it's the Robbie and Wes show, and you're both like sharing a moped. So your audio might be cutting out here, Wes. I'm not sure. Yeah, sorry, Wes. I think your audio's cutting out. No, I still can't hear you. Maybe if we can't fix it, I think we might wrap up. I know we've been on for the better part of 3 hours and 20 on this live stream, and yeah, we had some technical difficulties. It's still not working through, Wes. Maybe Yeah, we've had quite a long following. We've got 485 people on the stream right now, which is excellent. Really appreciate everyone who's been watching along with me and joining Wes for this post match. And until an amazing feeling, as silly as that sounds, that we got 3 points. We did it the hard way. We didn't do it well. It was painstaking. It felt a lot like the win against Bournemouth last year, that we just felt like we're better than this and we held on for dear life, but we got there. And yeah, I think with that said, I know I would say if you want to say anything, Wes, but I think your audio is still cut. So yeah, is it just me or is anyone else hearing Wes go through on the chat? Yeah, looks like the audio might be out still. Nope. Nope. Okay. Well, with this day of technical difficulties, we'll take it to an end, I think. But thank you for everyone that's joined us today. And Everton are now in 15th place. Hooray! Mediocrity! Up the toffees.